right, welcome to episode 2 of the Command Deck podcast. I'm your captain, Ghost, followed by my co-captain, Galaxy.
What's up?
And today we caught a strange man floating in the waters, and he's weird.
Yeah, he's the gremlin from the basement last episode. And legally we're allowed to let him out every once in a while.
It's crazy. People were saying that it's animal cruelty. I said it doesn't count because he's an animal and he deserves to be treated like this. Go ahead and introduce yourself, you little gremlin.
Sorry, I'm dying. Hello, I'm Soccer. I'm the one who got summoned by Hockey.
All right, so that's the Canadian lover right there. So today we're gonna do something a little bit different in this podcast. Usually we talk about a bunch of stuff, but today we're gonna be doing some tier list rankings, and I think it's gonna go really well.
I think
we're
it's
gonna
gonna
rank.
be chaotic.
This is gonna be the biggest fight between me and Galaxy. This might be what ends the podcast with these fights. So we decided to let the creature out of the dungeon to be the mediator for this. So he gets the nay or say on he's the final vote when it comes down to it.
And
now
if
all
none
of
of us
these
can-
rankings,
And if none
now
of us
all these
can-
rankings are our opinions. None of these are facts, except they're facts by us because we're more knowledgeable about this. So cry boohoo.
Yeah,
But
if you have
today
a
we're
problem-
doing Star
if you-
Wars.
If you have a problem with it, just leave. Make sure you leave your thoughts down below.
We will not read them.
I'll probably read them just so I can make fun of you.
He won't read them. He's lying.
Yeah,
Alright.
he's lying.
So we're going to be doing at least 2 rankings. I want to do at least 2. We're going to do Star Wars first, and then once we're done doing Star Wars, we'll do the live action TV shows and the movies and the animated series. So this is everything under the Star Wars banner that has been released on Disney Plus. Once we're done doing this and we give it our final grading and ranking and everything, we'll move on to the Marvel movies, and it'll be Marvel movies and TV shows. We'll give that our final grading scale and everything like that. And then once that's done, I have a couple topics I feel like it deserves to get talked about, especially in the gaming and in the movie world. So stay tuned for that. So for right now, let's go ahead and get started with these Star Wars ranking.
Yeah. Let's bring up the big old tier system.
Yep.
There we go.
So the way this works is I've seen all of them. Galaxy's seen some of them. Soccer has seen some of them.
I've seen probably 80% of this, right? 80. I've seen a
About
lot
80.
of it. I'd say 80 is a good number.
So we're gonna do that. Soccer, be a little monkey that you are, dance, because I got to get the Marvel one pulled up and ready to go.
Be the monkey I am.
Okay, so we'll while the Gremlin's doing his thing and Ghost is doing his thing, we'll start off with the OG, the very first one, the thing that started it all, Star Wars Episode 4.
All right,
New Hope.
Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Now, personally, I feel like this may be nostalgia talking, but I am going to try to curb nostalgia as best as I can. I think this is an A. I feel like there's some problems that keep it from being S, but it's still...
Okay, so here's how the ranks are. There's S tier, A tier, B, C, D, F, and there's a not watched category. This not watched category is mainly going to have the young Jedis and stuff like that because that's like literal baby shows, and
Disney Junior
we're muscular men, and we love watching our baby shows with a cup of juice. All right, so episode 4 is what started it all. Nostalgia's hitting, but it's not hitting in the way I want it to. I have to say, this will be about B plus, A minus.
Yeah, I'd say like A is a... Now, you can definitely tell it's kind of like a bit dated in like some of the graphics and stuff and some of the scenes.
It's dated.
but that doesn't necessarily make it bad. And I think one of the biggest problems with like the movie industry is just because something is old and stuff and has older graphics or something doesn't make it bad. Just 'cause,
Well, and then the other thing is it got away with a lot of large scale things via paintings. Like,
yeah.
and that's insane. That like I sat there and was like, oh, that's and then they would like basically have these paintings set up in a way that like they'll paint all the troopers when like the Emperor came to like the Death Star or whatever, and they'll have it set up where like he's walking or they're walking and everything's just painting and they'll like do this perfect movie magic. But I feel like it's a little
Well, that's not episode 4 though. That's Emperor, that scene you're talking about. That's episode 6. We'll get to episode 6.
no, because episode 4 was when the first Death Star blows up, and that's when he shows up.
No, Emperor doesn't show up in episode 4.
I could have sworn he did.
I could have sworn he does.
I don't think he might show up as like a hologram, but I'm pretty sure we don't see the Emperor like that. We don't see the Emperor like in real life until episode 6.
The Emperor first appears in The Empire Strikes Back.
So that's
Okay,
episode
so
6.
episode 5. Okay. Well, I know most of the reactor scenes in the Death Star were painted, so was some like the external shots and stuff like that
Yeah.
too.
So
This
yeah,
is B tier.
You say B tier. I say A.
I say B
What about
tier.
Gremlin? What about you? You're the deciding vote.
From the beginning, I'm like, yes, it does have nostalgia and stuff, but I still feel like it's a B. B plus.
I'm a little bit hurt by that, but I can accept the B. A B plus.
Here's why it's B tier. All right, it is stated in the original that Han Solo shot first, and they have edited it to where Greedo shoots first, and as soon as Greedo shoots, Han shoots. So it's a reaction, like in the original, Greedo never shot, and Han never like moved his head. In the edited up to date 2010 edition or whatever it was, they slightly pulled Harrison Ford to the left or the right to have him dodge a bolt that never existed, and then they added in Greedo shooting, so it goes from A to B because of that. Because it no longer makes Han Solo be that cool shoots first, ask question later kind of guy. It made him a shot in self defense when reality he shot first.
Well,
Greedo never shot.
To be honest, I think that just makes him cooler that he could dodge point blank blaster for.
Bro, and oh
he's
my
a normal
god,
dude too. He's not like. It's not like he's like a Jedi with like force enhanced reflexes. He's like probably one of the normalest people in the.
But the problem with it is it's not okay. So when I say dodge, he doesn't like he does like they don't like he like does this like dramatic lean to the left or right. It's like Greedo shoots from under the table, from a position that one would have never hit Han Solo because Greedo's arms weren't long enough, and the way he angled the gun, he would have hit the table. But it's just enough to where like when he shoots at Han, it like if Han wouldn't have moved his head, the shot would have still missed because it would have like singed some hairs to hit the wall behind him. And they did this thing where like he kind of like tilts his head to the right, and it's like he didn't need to do that because Greedo would have missed entirely. And then in the next update they did for it, they moved the bolt to where his head would have been. So they edited that scene twice for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, okay,
so that goes from A to B.
You know what? I'm solid on B. B plus, high B plus, but still B plus. I'm solid there. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I knew about that Greedo thing, but I forgot about it until you reminded me.
Dude,
Like,
I remembered that, and I was like, I was so mad, dude. I was like, oh, because in
Dude, that
every
annoys me.
book that they had before they updated it in like 2008 and 2009, it stated that Han shot first, not Greedo. Like Greedo attempted to shoot, but he never shot.
Exactly.
So I was like, now you're making Greedo look like the cooler guy, and I didn't agree with that. It kind of
Okay,
took away that suave out of Han.
fair. That's fair. Okay, so next comes up Emperor
Episode
Empire
5.
Strikes Back.
This is
Strikes Back.
easy A tier.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like the scene from with Lando and Darth Vader, just everything about it, right? Like I said, from the Darth Vader scene to the whole Cloud City in general, right? To have the Luke, I am your father. It's probably one of the most.
He actually says, "No,
iconic-
I am your father."
Yeah, but no, I am your father. Like, either way, that's probably one of the most iconic scenes in Star Wars in general, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So
even if you don't know Star Wars, you probably
You're-
know that scene.
I can't believe you said that, and you said all good points, but you missed the number one biggest part of the entire movie. That was the best part.
Was it Boba Fett?
No, the Battle of Hoth.
That was
With the
that
introduction
was
of the
fun.
the AT-ATs and the ATSTs.
Hey, Gremlin,
and the
Gremlin,
Wampa.
Gremlin,
It was
Gremlin.
great.
Calm your boner, okay? We don't need that. Dude just moaned.
No.
Just moaned at the
Oh,
mention
yeah.
of AT-ATs.
I love the original. That if you slowed it down and you looked at one of the ATTEs or the AT-ATs, you can see a guy's hand come up from under the table that they're using because these are small miniature models
Yeah.
that have full articulation,
What's
and it's
crazy?
really cool.
What's crazy to me is that a fun fact about like Power Rangers, kind of switching gears, is that most of their Megazord fights are literally like toys.
Yeah,
So what I find so funny though is that Star Wars did it first, and yet
I'm upset. So there's a deleted scene from Hoth where C-3PO is running and the Empire and the stormtroopers or the snowtroopers are running through like the tunnels on Hoth, and there's a door, and it says "Warning: Keep out Wampas." And C-3PO runs by it, comes back and rips it off, and then when a stormtrooper opens the door, he gets grabbed by a Wampa and yanked through the door. And that is like it's so funny that it got cut out.
Rips a door off. Are we talking about the same C-3PO?
I said sticker or the sign off. I never said he ripped the door off.
Oh, I thought okay. That
No,
makes
I
more
said he
sense.
rips the sticker off the door that says "Warning, Wampas" or whatever, like "Caution, keep out,"
Got it.
which is
I thought
which is funny.
That is funny, and honestly, to be honest, I feel like C-3PO kind of gets clowned on when like he's like one of the smartest there. Like not necessarily the most emotional intelligent, but definitely like when it comes to pure logic, he's probably one of the smartest.
Also, Episode 5 gave us one of the better lines out of the movies. Do you know what that line is?
No incinerations.
Nope. It's disintegrations.
Decent. Okay. No disintegrations.
Nope. You know what the line is? Soccer. Do you know the line?
Is it "I love you"? I know.
Nope.
No. Damn.
Nope.
That's a
I'm
good
trying
one,
to
too.
remember now.
Ah, you don't remember the line?
Oh, is it when she's calling
Oh, just like the simulations.
Han a
Something like that.
nerf herder?
Nope.
Dang it! I'm one to know. What?
It's when Han Solo goes back to Hoth, goes back to Echo Base, and he finds out Luke hadn't come back. So he goes out there and he finds Luke, and his tauntaun
Oh.
dies. So he takes Luke's lightsaber and cuts it open, and he goes, "And I thought they smelled worse on the outside."
Dude, did you ever see the MythBusters prove that that you could actually survive in a tauntaun?
Yep.
That entire episode was amazing. I loved it. Okay,
Empire
So-
Strike Back comes out as the easy A tier.
agreed.
All right.
Gremlin. I mean, I don't think we need your opinion, but we'll take it anyways.
I mean, I think he agreed as well, right off the bat.
I agreed off the bat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, episode 6. I think this gotta be our first S tier, or at least an A tier above Empire Strikes Back.
This Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi comes out B tier.
Really?
Yes. The biggest issue that I have is, and I get it, is people are like, oh, blah, blah. These are stormtroopers. These are highly trained members of the Imperial Army. And the fact that all it takes, and granted, I understand, oh, the rocks were sharp. No, that's not how that works with plasteel. Plasteel is a very durable metal. It literally, most stormtroopers that you see get shot are not dead
Yeah.
because that armor has a really good heat absorption and is able to spread the impact across a wider area instead of being focalized.
See, I think
These guys got hit by rocks and took a rock to the chest and would go down. A regular pointy stick would not pierce plasteel.
I don't think so. As far as here's the thing. I don't think that they were down or knocked out. I think maybe like the wind has gotten knocked out of them. I think that's more to do with like the Ewoks like strength than it does like the weakness of the.
Okay, no. What I'm saying is, no, because yeah, like an Ewok could be strong, but again, you are a full-grown human that has had full training. These Ewoks are no, we can't even say they're strong because they're primitive. They rely on primitive stuff.
Well, just because they're primitive doesn't mean that there aren't.
No,
like,
but what I'm saying is, if anything, they would probably have the strength comparable to a very small mammal, but their muscle like just the looking at an Ewok, they do not have that muscle. They're not 100% muscle mass.
Fair enough.
Because and it doesn't, and anything that small cannot have any strength more proportional than its body.
Okay.
Like, so.
Well, to be fair, we are talking about aliens and sci-fi.
We're talking about aliens and sci-fi, but there's still a limitation to these aliens and sci-fi.
Look, I will.
My problem is that, and then the other problem is, the scene in the woods on the speeder bikes. The fact that the stormtrooper just goes, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep this thing full throttled in the woods where I'm literally dodging trees and stuff. Let me take my eyes off the road real quick. Let me just look behind me real quick. Like, bro, that's stupid." The Darth Vader Luke fight scene, it's not as good as the first fight. No, we got Empire episode 5. It's not as good because it's more of an ideological fight than it is a physical fight.
Yeah, but
I love that.
There's something you're obviously forgetting, right? That at the very least puts it at A tier.
What?
Carrie Fisher in a metal bikini.
I was waiting for somebody to mention that.
Okay, Gooner.
Okay, because I probably had to look up stuff about it.
You
Again,
and I both
trying to
know that, like, that. I'm not even really talking about it as a sex icon, which it was, right?
Carrie Fisher could be butt naked in there, and it's still not gonna take it out of a B tier from.
No, to be honest, I was kidding. That's the reason. But like, that is, I feel like you have to realize the cultural significance that brought, right? It honestly became a fantasy for every male that watched it. Every straight male that watched it. And I feel like the cultural impact of this is what makes it deserve A tier, right? Like, at the very least, an A minus.
Another thing, I understand Luke is going through this, like, Jedi whatever thing he's going through. In the beginning, when he goes there to like rescue Leia, Han, Chewie, and C-3PO and R2-D2 from Jabba. But and I don't know if it's because I can't say it's because he's lacking experience, because this is like there's a time gap between 5 and 6. But and I get it, and never mind, because I would have put him on the dark path. But honestly, there was no point in the whole thing, really. I feel like that whole thing could have been avoided with having to go on the Jabba, going back to Tatooine. I feel like could have been avoided. But again, Han Solo was there. But I mean,
okay. So wait, are we putting it above A New Hope though, or you know what? I will be willing to concede with B, but we gotta put it at least better than A New Hope.
I put it on par with New Hope because New Hope really introduced everybody and kind of gave us their personalities. Episode 6, all Episode 6 was an ideological thing, and the transition from good to evil, and it's really a redemption story for Vader at this point, not for Luke, especially after that midway point in Episode 5. This is more of a Vader story than a Luke story, which I'm a-okay with. But
Okay,
this is high B. It's like B plus.
fair. Okay, episode 1, the start of the prequels, and
Oh,
now I'm gonna be honest. I think this one in particular, B minus. Well, it'll kind of more make sense why I say that where we go into it, because spoiler alert, I think that episode 2 was a C.
Soccer. What's your idea? What's your thoughts on episode 1?
I thought it was pretty boring, personally.
You were really saying the Darth Maul stuff was boring?
Darth
I'll
Maul,
say that. I'll say that
Maul-
mostly because of Jar Jar.
Bro, as a child, Jar Jar was added to like keep kids' attention, and bro, I was laughing as
I
a child.
love Jar
because Jar Jar was amazing, and then the Clone Wars really made him a fan favorite.
Jar
Well,
Jar
for me, I started watching it when I was like a teenager, like back when the newer stuff was coming out. So I kind of grew out of the Jar Jar phase. The Darth Maul stuff was cool. The Jar Jar is what lost me.
Okay,
See,
well,
I'm
we're
gonna-
agree, disagree.
Episode 1 is a B tier for me.
Agreed.
Actually, no,
Nah, come on. No, it's definitely B.
because no. The reason why it's a little bit higher than B is the lightsaber fights and the actual battles and everything were
what?
so much better.
See, here's the thing, and we'll get into this later, because lightsabers is a big reason why I like Star Wars. These kind of get a pass on why it was kind of not as good, right? Because they were the first, and they didn't really know what they were doing when it came to it. Plus, it was like the 60s, right? Like...
We can't say they didn't know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
It's not that they didn't know what they were doing. It's just that when 1, 2, and 3 came out, they had a lot more like techniques and stuff, and they could do a lot more.
Well, the thing
fights
was, well, yeah, because back in the day, the lightsabers were a piece of rotoscope with like reflective stuff on it, so they had to be very careful with it. They
Yeah.
really couldn't, and that's understandable. But we can't sit here and say they didn't know what they were doing.
No,
but the fights were more. In the original trilogy, the fights were more elegant. They were more. They were more like how you would like, I guess, have
A
like
dance.
fencing or something like that. It was a dance. It was more sophisticated.
These
The
in 1, 2, and
prequel
3,
series, these were battles. These were fights
Yeah.
to the death. These fights carried weight to them.
and 7, 8, 9 became clubs. Where we'll get into that. So,
9 and 10. 7, I actually really enjoyed 7.
No,
But we'll get to that.
7,
We'll get
yeah.
there when we get there.
Okay, but A.
Episode 1. If you stop and think about it, if you actually look at it from a prequel thing, you realize from the beginning that this is about Anakin.
Yeah.
Because all from 1 to 6. That's all. It's all Anakin's story. It's really him. It's a victim. It's a victim story, and this really I hated the midichlorian thing. I don't understand. It was stupid, but it's a way to introduce how the Force kind of works. I'm okay with that. The lightsaber fights were really good.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
It was great.
I'm gonna be honest. There's a couple things that kind of makes me want to go B with it, right? And that's first off. I feel like, the interaction between, Padme and Anakin felt very weird.
Yeah, he was
Like-
9. She was 14.
Yeah, like there's that, and I felt like it was. It's hard to make me think that okay, yeah, granted at the time you're not really supposed to think that they are supposed to get together, but as a fan who knows who's seen all of them, how are they supposed to? Plus, I feel like another thing that I don't really like is the fact that I didn't like how they handled the space battles in this one.
There wasn't really that many space battles.
That's
Besides, the
or
only
just the
space battle there was the Battle of Naboo, and that
Yeah.
was it. And I really enjoyed it. It was great.
I don't
Yeah, that
know,
scene was
it's
cool.
just- It just,
I'll try spinning. That should work.
I don't, like I said, I feel like it was more of a medium. It was less. I don't know. I just was kind of hoping for more. I don't feel like we got enough of the space battle, but
Yeah, and I mean, this was the era. This was like when ILM was kind of hitting their peak, and new technology was coming out, and they were really wanting to try things. The battle droids looked amazing.
battle droids were good.
I loved the voice. It's crazy that the voice changed for them, because in episode 1 they're like this like higher note, they're a little bit higher pitched, and then in episode 2 they're a little bit deeper, I guess. And then all throughout the Clone Wars, they hit this like perfect medium that's just perfect.
We'll get to those later.
The Padme stuff was, if you stop and think about it, the only person Anakin had known was his mom. He's leaving her behind. He doesn't know what to do, homesick and all this stuff. And when they introduce it, it's almost like motherly. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna bang this kid when he gets older.
Makes it weirder, the fact that it's Dippiest thing.
Well, no, because like when episode 1 came out, nobody knew what was like. Nobody knows that was coming, but it's like, kids scared. And what are women mainly known for? Their motherly roles.
Don't say that. That's gonna get us canceled.
What, motherly?
No, that women are known to be. I'm being sarcastic. Anyway, so
they can all get in a bus and go crash off a river. I don't care. No, but like that, like
the bus mentality. We're bringing back.
Bringing back the bus mentality, bro. The crybabies can get in the back of the bus. I'll drive this thing off the bridge at 90 miles an hour.
Okay, so A, I feel like I'm fine with A.
This is A because it introduces Palpatine. This introduces the Senate and oh my god, who does not love a movie that's all about trade disputes for like an hour and a half? Like, come on, it's so great. It's easy A.
Okay,
that's great.
It's below number 5. There's no way I'm putting it above number 5.
Yeah, it's behind 5. But the choreography for the lightsaber stuff, Qui-Gon dying, like Yoda being a puppet. Oh my god, that's so creepy now when you look at it.
Now, number 2,
to CGI.
I think it's either a high C, low B.
Episode 2's B. Reason being, clones, baby. I love the Battle of Geonosis is the best part. I love it. Sokka, where's your thoughts? We've been neglecting the Goblin here.
I mean, I've just been listening because those like earlier ones, like 4 through 6, I was trying to remember those, but these ones I remember more of. Yeah, I feel like episode 2 is like a B plus. Like, they had really good battles with those clones. It was amazing.
That's the thing, is we didn't get a lot of stuff. That's the thing, is we didn't get a lot of stuff with the clones. And I think that's like when it, like they come in like the last 10% of the movie, right? They make a big splash, yeah. But here's why I feel like the pacing's a bit wonky, right? And I feel like there was some parts, like the whole R2-D2 and C-3PO going into the factory and that whole thing, right? That was kind of unneeded. Like, it's not like it really saved anything. If anything, it just kind of was like a slapstick, right? Before, like, stuff went down. And that just seemed, to me, it just kind of seemed pointless. I like, the good things I like about this movie was the fact that we kind of saw Anakin's descent, right? We got the glimpse of the dark side, with the whole killing the Sand People.
Yeah, we get to see his experience of loss and how he would handle it. And short note, he did not handle it very well.
He did not. No,
he did it horribly.
I feel like, and going back to that whole Padme, like I don't think, whether it's chemistry or what, I don't think they had it well. Like by episode 3, I feel like the chemistry between them was great. Right, whether it was the writing that was fixed or the actors like started talking to each other and they meshed better, like that was great. But with episode 2, I still felt like there was something there that just made it
So, and then it's
Awesome.
it's kind of explained throughout the Clone Wars, the animated series, but um, like the introduction of the clones, seeing how they had literally like 3 people play each different variation was so crazy. Um, the Battle of Geonosis is the most iconic fight, and then if you go dig in the lore, that battle lasted a very long time.
Yeah.
Like
Here's,
it lasted months.
yeah. Here's another thing that I feel like at the very least puts it at C plus B minus. The stupid ass, killing a Padme plan. That was so needlessly complicated that
Yeah, but
it was
you know,
so I don't know. You probably heard the meme at this point.
I've seen the meme. Yes,
Yeah,
I know
This
the
guy
meme.
has this guy who has this guy who has this guy who has this
Well,
guy.
Yeah, why? Like, obviously
Well,
you need this person dead, or if you wouldn't be trying to go through all this, right? Especially
Well,
going
think
through so
about
many
it.
people where they're gonna end up like, one person's gonna with how many people they did it. If they didn't want her dead, the high likelihood of her ending up dead increased so much because of the line of communication. Like, if you played the game telephone, right? It's so easy to get something wrong or communication wrong, an order wrong or something. The longer down the line it goes.
Well, if you also think about it, if I say I want to kill Soccer, I'm not gonna go kill him myself
Well,
because then I can get traced right back to me. So what the plan was to have it go that way. It's this long trail that if at any point one part gets caught, there's no connection to the next.
then why did
It's-
Boba Fett literally show up, trank them?
That was not
Oh
Boba
no,
Fett.
it was Jango.
You
It was
speak, you
Jango.
speak the,
It was.
you
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
disrespecting the god.
You're right.
No.
Oh wait, you're not
But
right. He's
again-
not. He's. Wow.
But
okay,
again,
we're gonna
the reason
disagree on
why I can't believe you missed the point of why he would trank them to get to shut them up and have an open trail.
But then don't do it where you could be seen. They clearly saw him. Like, you
Okay,
think
but
a professional
okay,
like him
so-
would know better.
No. So let me ask you this: when it happens, did they immediately go, "I know that guy"? No. All they knew was Mandalorian, and at the time, the Mandalorians were very prosperous. They weren't like secret like they are in Ahsoka and all that. No, they were very well established. But again, it's midnight. It's dark. The guy literally flies off out of the shadows having a jetpack. They don't even know who he is. They didn't know what he was. It took Obi-Wan going to Dex's diner for the guy to go, "Oh, that's Kaminoan or that's Mandalorian,"
Also,
for this
yeah,
whole
why-
thing to go.
Why would you use? That's another thing. For someone who's a professional, why would you use some talks? There are probably thousands of other toxins that would have done the job just as well.
But
Right.
here's the problem. But
The
here's the
galaxy
thing.
is such a
No
big
one.
place.
But here's the thing. No one knew where it came from. No one knew what it was because again, any records of Camino, certain Mandalorian chemicals, all that was erased. That was deleted. There's the reason why Obi-Wan goes, "I can't seem to find this. It must have been deleted." And Jocasta Nu says, "That's impossible. Nothing ever gets taken out of the archives." And then it goes to him going to Master Yoda, talking, and then the youngling having an idea. This whole thing to get there. There's a point because in Tales of the Jedi, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't finished it or anything like that, right after Qui-Gon Jinn dies, and Count Dooku makes a deal with Darth Sidious, he goes into the Jedi Temple and deletes Camino. He deletes everything on it, all of it. He deletes it out of the archives. So they're like all the stuff that we're like, oh, blah blah. It's explained in the cartoon show, in the animated series, in the cartoons. Granted, yeah, I know. Oh, you gotta go watch a cartoon to figure this out. But even then, if I watch somebody die, they're trying to tell me something. They die. It's the middle of the night, and I watch a guy, and I think is a guy. I just see a figure fly off in the dark. I have no idea who that is because I've never interacted with that. I've never dealt with it. So it was a very good little mystery. And the whole telephone thing, yeah, was kind of pointless because while everyone was out, the guy could have gone and just killed Padme. But
Yeah.
at that point, the security was already raised. The Senate guard was already up there. It was already locked down, so he would not have been able to do it.
You're telling
So-
me a Mandalorian couldn't handle people who contend with Jedi's couldn't handle
You're-
some random ass.
Y-
guards.
You're telling me that a one man with a very limited arsenal can take on the entire full might of the Naboo diplomatic security, the diplomatic security of Coruscant, and Captain Panaka? Not likely. Captain Panaka is a G.
You realize, okay, Captain Panaka would probably, I don't know. Well, okay, again, we have to realize that their blasters probably wouldn't be able to hurt him, right? Because the armor is probably made of Beskar.
And here's another thing: they probably also moved her to a more secure location that he probably couldn't get to. And even if he got there, he'd have no idea where she is because she wouldn't be in her room. She would have been moved on somewhere else. And so, all these security measures in place to protect a senator are in place to get them out of there. He would not just go, "Oh, we just attempted an assassination. The Jedi jumped out the window and all this stuff." She's probably still she probably went back to sleep. No, she's going to be on high alert. And everyone that's there, all her security force, the Coruscant security force, the Coruscant police guard, everything's going to be there to protect her and move her to a safer location, probably inside the Senate building or somewhere further into the building. So,
Why do I
people
have
that
a
go,
feeling
"Oh,
that this is gonna be reversed whenever we do the Marvel stuff? It's gonna be me defending it and you trashing it.
dog, I'm gonna tell you, I've seen a majority of all the Marvel stuff, and I did an honest ranking, and I didn't send it to you because I have to go find the photo. But I actually did a very honest ranking, and I explained it to our good friend Shadow. And I went through full depth and explained this. Episode 2 is B tier, but it's a high B. It's not a low B. It's a high B.
I don't know if I can put it high B.
The Count Dooku fight at the very end with
You know
Anakin
what?
losing his hand to
Right,
get his,
You're right.
and then we get to see the ketamine frog. Come on, dog. That's high B. Again, amazing lightsaber work.
That is high B.
Amazing choreography with the fighting. Most of these are the choreographies, and the choreography wins it alone. It bumps itself up.
Yeah, that's
It goes from a high C to a high B. It's not pushing A tier. I would love for it, but it's pushing high B right now. That's where I'm putting
We'd
this.
say it's better than A New Hope and
It's better
Return of the
because
Jedi, right?
yes.
Yeah.
All right, Soccer, you get this one.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Where do you think it belongs, bud? If he's even alive, I think we didn't feed him.
I'm here.
All right, where do you rank episode 3?
I personally
sorry,
think this is a high A. I just love this movie.
High A. Oh, this is S tier.
That's like high A to S.
Episode 3 is S tier. Episode
what?
3 had me crying.
I think this is the first one that we will fully agree on.
Everything about this is just the opening space battle, the General Grievous fight with Kenobi, the 2 fights that he has, Count Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan.
Dude, I can't.
Order 66, everything.
If someone
It made me cry.
if someone gives me or says hello there, right? I will
Hello there.
automatically on a hairpin trigger, like I was hypnotized to do it or
the
something.
most
I will say
memeable
General
movie.
Kenobi. I will straight up say that. And yeah, you know what? It is very memed on. But in a
Very
good way.
memed on.
In a good
The
way.
final
unlike Morbius.
fight, Anakin and Obi-Wan. When I was younger, when Anakin fell to the dark side, I cried. Because I fell in love with the character. Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor pulled that off so well.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest.
It was so good.
We'll talk about this when we get into
The Kenobi series.
But dude, their chemistry with each other
It was
So
so
good.
perfect. So
S
perfect.
tier all the way. Anytime somebody goes, "Hey, what's your favorite Star Wars media?"
Episode
3. The music was so.
Dude, the music was great.
Temple March.
Have y'all seen the deleted scene for episode 3?
I don't think
Depends.
so.
Which one are you talking
Okay.
about?
So there's a deleted scene where Obi-Wan and Yoda go to the Jedi Temple, and there's like a bunch of dead clones and dead Jedi everywhere. But like this, it looks like it's like the Jedi won, and they walk up, and it's 501st clone troopers wearing Jedi robes, trying to like pull one over on them and kill them, and
remember
Yoda just
that.
decapitates them.
I remember
Episode
I have
3.
not seen that.
Everything about episode 3 is S tier. This is
have
the
to-
pinnacle.
You have to realize, dude, I had all of these on Blu-rays.
Oh, it's the same.
Dude, and me and my family, we watched them religiously. Like, dude, every year we would go on a
Every
marathon.
year, May the 4th, I will watch all 6, and then I will watch all of the Clone Wars. Every year on May the 4th, I watch that, and I never watch episode 3. I watch it to the very end at night.
Okay, now this next one, I will not refute my position. This one this one's
Episode
a D.
7 is a B.
It is a D.
It is
dog
B.
shit.
It is B.
Okay, first off,
Like I think episode 7 is the only good one in the.
It's the
new
only
series.
good one out of the
only
trilogy.
decent one, and it's the only decent one, but it still is incredible, and especially comparing it to everything else here, it is incredibly like low tier mid.
This is low B, high C.
No,
Yeah.
it's here. Okay, first off, right, it's literally just a copy and paste of what we've seen before from the other two. Okay. Chosen One ends up on a sandy desert planet trying to get by. Isn't exactly doing super hot. Ends up getting whisked away to the galaxies because of outside interference, and then gets sent on a journey, and like the first 2 times, right, great, right. But the problem is that the first 2 times there was a story that was written well to back it up, right. We got like nothing from about Rey. Like Rey as a character is so.
Rey's
was
character
done
needed
so
work.
bad. It was done so bad, and as far as
Oh.
a main character is supposed to go, it was terrible.
So, I say this is high C, low B, for the fact of most of what is in this movie. J.J. Abrams is a genius. I love him because he communicates directly. He ignores Kathleen Kennedy and he talks directly to George Lucas, and about certain things and how like some things could work and all that. And Dave Filoni, those two are like the top tier he respects. Most of what is in this movie is from "Curse you, Kathleen Kennedy. I hope you step down. You suck."
I think she is.
No, she's not.
Oh, they report
she's
live
not.
then?
No, it was rumors. There's rumors every year about her stepping down.
Fine.
No. So most of what was in this movie was legend stuff about what happened to Luke, because JJ had the blueprints to explain a lot of things. Luke's disappearance, Rey, all like he had this whole thing, and Kathleen said, "Nah, we're gonna do this, this, and this." But the story is perfect.
It's
I
not,
love it.
though.
I love the story because here's the thing about it. At the time, there was like no Star Wars properties besides the Clone Wars, and even then, there was a point where it had ended and we just had nothing. It was a dark void for years. This was supposed to be a reboot to attract a more younger audience and try to like the first, like how Episode 4 attracted a young audience, how Episode 1, 2, and 3 attracted such a younger audience. This again was made for a younger audience, and I watched it and I enjoyed it. I loved Kylo Ren, Ben Solo.
No,
That's
he
a
was the
legend's
dumbest
name.
part. First off,
No, the dumbest part was leading everyone on that John Boyega's character of Finn had anything, and then turning around and then the next 2 movies turning him into a parrot that just yells Poe and Rey the entire time.
Yeah,
he was
but
done. And the other 2, he was done disrespectfully. If I were to sit here and compare this to the other 2, this one is like S tier compared to the other 2. If I had to compare them, like if I had to sit there and go, in the original trilogy, Episode 5 is S tier. and the prequel trilogy episode 3 is S tier. If I had to do that for this is S tier for the trilogy series because the writing was done better. The characters, yeah, they needed improvement, but again, it was they were trying to hurry and tell a story, which yeah, the pacing was a little weird on this one, and I felt like it could have used a little bit of slowing down on certain parts.
I
But
just find it funny how you're so
the
willing to
characters were more
defend.
interesting.
You're so willing to defend these, right? When the same issues that are you're defending these on are issues you have with Marvel movies, and yet you roasted for those.
Oh yeah, no, because Marvel. The thing about Marvel is they oversaturated the market the entire time, and so they were producing like very few good things. Star Wars had nothing for like 5 to 6 years. There was nothing coming out. We had no news on Star Wars.
So then you
we
give
got,
us some part. So you give us some subpar like garbage, and
Marvel
it
produces
wasn't-
the same. Marvel produced the same thing, and I'll say the same thing, and I will defend certain movies on the same standards. Episode 7 was what was the reignition for this. If Kathleen Kennedy just would not exist and be the president
If that's the
of
case,
this,
then it could have
this
been
could have
good.
been.
But that's the problem.
could have
Is
been good.
we're living in a world where Kathleen Kennedy is in control of all this.
That is why.
So
That is why I'm
I-
saying giving it D is like no. This is at least a low C, not a D, because
Fine,
the
and
characters were
you know
pretty
what?
good.
I will put
Lightsaber
it-
fights were
No,
semi better ish.
No. Okay,
No.
I will deny you
Listen.
on the lightsaber fight.
No,
I will deny you
no.
on the
The
lightsaber fight.
lightsaber fight between Finn and Kylo Ren was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie,
Okay,
I liked it.
that's good, fine. But first off, I want to point out how, despite being trained by two separate masters, one of them being one of the greatest Force users, right? Like in general, right?
Not
he
the
is-
greatest.
I said one,
One
of
of them.
I said one of, not the greatest.
Not
I know
even one of.
He's top.
Leia
like,
exists.
okay.
Leia's a Jedi.
Yeah, I get. Who trained Leia?
Luke.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you can't sit here and compare Kylo Ren to the god.
What I'm
Anakin's the
saying, I'm not saying that. I'm saying despite
He got
being
trained by him, but he's not
despite being
as
trained
good.
by two different people, right? Having a direct blood connection to the Skywalker bloodline, right? Not only was he overpowered by Rey in using the Force, which Rey has never used the Force before, so that shouldn't be possible. Right? We've been shown countless times in other medium that it takes training to use the Force well. Right?
All right,
so
I
that
have-
makes no sense.
Let me stop you there real quick.
Okay.
A gorilla busting through your walls with a shotgun is still dangerous because it
No,
doesn't know what
can't,
it's
'cause it
doing.
doesn't- Okay, just because we've shown that even Anakin, who had the highest midichlorian count, couldn't just use the Force like Rey did right off the bat.
I beg to differ. The Clone Wars TV show exists.
Okay, that's when he was trained.
Nah,
He
because
was a
even then,
knight at
even
that point.
even then, Anakin, like if you go back and you watch the Micro series, which is canon, he pulls off some like really weird things as a Padawan before he even hits knighthood, and he's still in this weird transition where he's still kind of learning ish. But at the same time, Kylo Ren had an entire struggle on the inside of him because he was so invested in his hatred, he couldn't figure out how to like how every Sith does focus it. He
Here's-
never had focus.
Here's another
That's his
dumb
problem.
thing. Here's another dumb thing. The fact that Kylo idolized Darth Vader, especially because you and I both know
His uncle.
his grandfather.
Oh yeah, because Luke's his uncle.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
we both
I'm
know
confident
it would have
that.
been notified that his grandfather turned from the dark side. So why, if you are looking to be an evil Sith, why would you
Man,
idolize someone?
it's almost like nobody has ever gone. I could have done better than that person.
Then
It's
why
not like
idolize
it's
him
not.
in
Hold
such
on.
a...
Okay, so here's the thing: when Kylo Ren, and this is explained in episode 8 and 9, when Kylo Ren was at the temple training by Luke, Luke did what Luke always does, and that's attuned to the Force, and which the Force can allow you in glimpses to see the future. He saw a possible future, not one set in stone, a possible. And instead of trying to find a way and talk to Ben, he immediately attacked Ben, then lied about it, about why he did it, and then went into hiding and blamed himself. Which, yeah, it's your fault. You didn't handle the situation right.
Dude,
You failed as an uncle.
Even Mark Hamill
But-
himself has said that's not the real.
That's not. Yeah, that's not the
So
real
we
Luke.
can't look. All I'm saying is that makes no sense. Plus,
All I'm
let's
saying
go
is
back to the
it's
fact-
low tier. It's low C. That's all I'm saying is it's low C because it had a lot of potential. The whole thing had potential. And when it
potential
came out,
is-
everyone where everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this could have been really good." Like I can't like it was enjoyed. People actually loved this. This was a really good movie. It's not as good as episode 1, 2, 3 and all that because it didn't have the same writers, but this was loved. This made a lot of money.
It made
and
a lot
everyone
of
was
money
hoping
because
that
it
the
was nostalgia
sequels
bait. It made a lot of money
Yeah.
because it was nostalgia.
and I can
bait.
say, and I can sit here and say the same thing about the Marvel movies and the Marvel TV shows. That it's nostalgia bait
Let me
right
ask
now.
you this: just look, the Lion King live action made over $1 billion. Does that make
And
that
that
a
was
good movie?
yes, because it's nostalgia bait.
Just because it's nostalgia bait doesn't mean it's a good. Okay, here you brought up the fact that you said the lightsaber fights were good. No, it shouldn't. You're telling again. Back to the
There was
fact that
two good fights.
okay, fine. The Finn and Kylo Ren one, right? That makes sense because Kylo Ren dominated it like he should have. Because he went against someone with no training. He was literally using it like he would his clone trooper baton. And which, to be honest, we never saw him use. My biggest hang-up of this entire thing, right, when it comes to the fights, Rey should have never have been able to beat Kylo Ren. That it logically makes no sense. And the fact that they literally we went from a battle, we went from fencing dance to battling, going for each other's jugular, really good, to now waving around baseball bats.
Wow, it's almost like, and it has been stated that lightsabers have a weight to them.
Yes.
And that people who don't know what they're doing, and aren't properly attuned to their crystal.
Kylo
that it
Ren
can
should.
sit there and Kylo Ren's crystal was cracked, so it couldn't focus.
Like all
it.
Sith,
That's why.
all Sith crystals are cracked. That's what leads to the
No.
bleeding effect that makes it red.
No, they are not cracked because if they're cracked, they need to have an exhaust or they will blow up. And most of their crystals aren't blood crystals; they're synthetic crystals. It's very rare for a Sith to use an actual kyber crystal and bleed it because it takes a lot of power to do, and not a lot of them have that power to bleed a crystal because you have to focus everything into it, and that crystal fights back. It has been proven in the Darth Vader comics when Anakin killed a Jedi Master and took his kyber crystal and went to bleed it, that crystal fought him to the very end, and that crystal gave up because it knew it couldn't win. Kyber crystals are alive. Kylo Ren's was his lightsaber's kyber crystal that when he was in the middle of trying to make it bleed, the crystal decided to crack itself. That is why he has the vent guards on the side to
Again,
let
is
off the
super
excess
dumb.
heat.
It's super
It's
dumb.
not.
No, it is, because, dude, you know how, logical they would be to cut your own hand? And not only that, though, but it gives a lightsaber easy access to cut. Right?
Wow, it's almost like lightsabers aren't made out of a durable material, and two actual swords have blades as a handle protection either. And the way he's holding it, he would never cut his hand. It would be almost impossible.
Look, here's we're back to
This is C. This is low C.
Fine, I will put it at low C, as in C minus. Minus.
C minus.
Fine.
Because
That's
this
right,
has
the whole time.
a lot of potential. This is a C. Now, episode 8, straight F.
F. Yeah, no, I will. No.
Episode 8, straight F.
Let's do a quick thing. That's also F.
Yes. Yeah, put
Both
the
of
rest of
those
them
are
on F.
Both of those are F.
No. Okay, so I have to defend episode 10. I have to defend episode
You mean
10.
9? Dude, there's not an episode 10 yet.
Sorry, yeah, 9. I was looking at Rogue One. The way the blue lightsaber goes down, it blends into Rogue One's artwork, so it confused me for a sec. Okay, so episode 9. Episode 9 is D tier. The reason it's D tier is because oh my god, did they go, oh man, J.J. Abrams, you did really good on episode 7. So instead of hiring you back, we're gonna fire you, and we're gonna hire, I think it's Josh Sweden, to write the script for episode 8 and add Fem Power to it, which ruined it, and it made episode 8 terrible. Hold though, I am so glad she's dead.
Yeah, that was just bad.
Another thing, okay, quick thing about episode 8. Everyone gives that hyperspace thing that she did a lot of heat. Honestly, it was a very smart thing to do.
It was very tactical.
It was soccer. I think soccer understands why it's tactical. I want to see if he knows the reason why it's tactical.
Who, me?
I also was tactical.
I want to see if soccer knows why
Let's see,
what
though.
she did was tactical.
Well, from what I'm thinking right now is that they had like no more artillery. They're just life pods going down there. They had no other choice but to take out the rest with that ship.
Man, so close. Soccer, do you know how hyperspace travel works?
A little bit.
All right, Galaxy, you know how hyperspace travel works?
Isn't it literally like them? Because I remember them essentially finding out later that they based hyperspace travel off of the hyperspace whales. Isn't it literally
Yes.
like them like displacing themselves in time, or it's like super speeding them?
It's okay, so the way hyper travel works is you have to be in a lane because these lanes are proven that there's nothing there. The difference is that there's a entrance and an exit to these planets. That's why in episode 1 the Lucre Hawks were there, because if you try to jump in, where they're set is so far away from the planet that the early collision detection in the system that goes, hey, there's a giant planet, you're about to crash into a planet or a sun, and it pulls you out of hyperspace so you don't die. Which is why in episode 7, Han Solo got around that by forcing the ship to keep going and then cut it when they entered atmosphere, which is very risky and no one would ever do.
Except the crazy ass
So-
Han Solo.
Except crazy Han Solo. So
It's on solo for you.
So okay, so if there's debris in the entrance, you can't go there because you'll get pulled out so far from the destination, and all of that's gonna sit there. And what she did was effectively shut down that hyperspace lane. And you cannot enter a planet through an exit. You have to go through the entrance. So if you exit a planet and you want to go back to it, you have to take that long trip around to go back to the entrance point. You cannot go back via the exit route. It's
Yeah.
impossible. What she did was basically add so much debris, and how she left the big flagship in there that say the First Order had aid or reinforcements, they would not be able to get to that planet because they can't get there. She basically locked the door and broke the lock. The only way for them to get there is they would have to hyperspace jump and then get pulled out so early away from the planet and have to send a crew to go clean that out and basically remove all the debris so that way they can get to the planet and then be able to go to the exit.
Yeah.
So what she did was very smart,
Mm-hmm.
but I really hated her character.
Yeah. She was,
The way she demoted Poe, who was literally the second in command. We were introduced to this girl who has been Leia's best friend, and then we never see her at all in the Kenobi series, even though she had been there on Alderaan at the time, and she was off planet with Mon Mothma when Alderaan exploded and all that stuff. It's terrible. Episode 8 is F tier. Episode 9 suffers from too many directors not knowing what they wanted to do because they hired Josh Whedon, fired Josh Whedon, hired J.J. Abrams, fired J.J. Abrams, hired Whedon again, fired him, and then rehired Abrams. And by the time they rehired him, they were already like 80% of the way done, and there was nothing he could do. So he tried his best to steer it back on track. This movie is a D tier because there was so much potential. Because it starts off with Sweden doing something pretty cool, and then it fell in this hole. This is D tier. I'm not gonna say it's F tier. It's not as bad as episode 8. It's just a slight better. The Sith troopers were pretty cool.
Here's the reason why.
Palpatine's resurrection was pretty cool because it's explained in the books about how he does that.
I'd be willing to do this. I'd be willing to put that over that, but to me that stays an F, and there's several reasons why. One,
I say it has to just be low D. That's it. I don't think it's better than 8.
Here's the thing.
It is better than 8.
So much of it. Yeah, no, it is. That's why I'm putting it above it, right? Like, that's right. But there's so much wrong with it. First off, there's the fact that this love thing, this love like connection they have between felt so forced and wrong, and it felt like, oh, we got the Mary Sue girl character and we got the edgy bad boy character, right? It's like they were trying to fill a cliche by just having the tropes there and not any of the story, right? That whole part made no sense to me. Not only that though, but you have the whole Rey dying, what's this, like, the whole dying healing thing, then healing is the other person because they were dying. That whole thing was, like, dumb. You got the whole connection of the Force and the whole transfer thing. That was stupid. And it honestly made it look like, oh, what would be a cool scene we could do, right? So we do that. And don't even get me started on the fact that Rey is biologically the granddaughter of... Oh, fudge.
Here.
Okay, I'm here.
I forgot about a couple of those scenes. Like,
Okay.
oh, this actually does make it go
Right.
like low D.
Okay, so wait. So, as I was saying, the whole... what was the last thing you heard? Because we had tech problems, and...
I don't know. I was talking
I don't
about
remember.
the space battle.
Okay, so here's another thing that, like, cements it as, at the very least, I'd be willing to give it a high F, but the fight scene on the water planet, right? Once
Low
again,
D.
she was trained. Now Rey has no excuse as to why she's swinging it around like it's a club. When we've seen, despite the fact that it has weight, we've seen it used more gracefully than just like a battering ram.
Well, I mean, every time we saw her train with Luke, all he had her do was meditate.
No, she was trained by Leia. It showed. That's how we first. It's in episode 9. That's the first time we see Rey. She's being trained by Leia. So she has no excuse now as to why she's swinging around like a club. I've heard people argue that you could argue for Kylo Ren because he's a Sith and it's all about power and stuff. I still find that argument dumb. But Rey isn't using the dark side, right? Hello? You kidding me? What's going on? Dude, I can't hear you.
Let's go, finally.
Okay, I can hear you now. Hello?
All right. Hello.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna have to
So
edit this out.
yeah. So what I was saying was, whenever we saw her with Leia, yeah, that's fine. But at the same time, she didn't get that much time, considering the fact that the Resistance was on a time crunch, and
We're led to believe that she's been training with Leia for at least like 6 months.
yeah, and even then, that's not enough time.
Which a lot.
Because
It should be enough time to at least have her stop using it like a freaking baseball bat. Again,
But again, there's a Jedi form for that maneuver as well. There's a form for it.
yes, okay. Even with all the forms we've seen, every single form, because we saw a lot of forms in the prequels, right? Because that's where we kind of got the introduction of forms, because there were so many more Jedi, and it was so much like there's ability to do variety, right? Every single one of those forms, even Mace Windu's form, which is canonically supposed to be the fact that it's supposed to be a lot more aggressive because he's teetering on the dark side, right? And he's kind of using dark side. Even that looked better. Even that looked better than what Rey and then.
So you're really gonna sit here and say Carrie Fisher's death is F tier?
I'm not saying Carrie Fisher's death was F tier. I'm saying
I say this deserves D because, yeah, the movie was bad, but I had a laugh. I loved the very end when it's like, sir, we need ships for the battle, for the last fight scene. How many should we put in there? Yes. And then this guy's just blanketed in ships. Like, I just love that. That was funny.
Also, Leia trained Rey for roughly a year.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Wikipedia.
Even then, that's less time than Luke got with Yoda.
yes,
That's
there
true.
should have been there should have been a better form. There was no form with her. Again,
My thing is, she should have had a double lightsaber because she's used to fighting with a staff. She's used to fighting with like two hands and a position of a bow staff. She's not really even. She can spend a year doing it, and she's not like when she swings it. You could tell that she's uncomfortable because she's so like when she makes certain hits, you can see the way her body reacts. Like she wants to take the bottom part of her thing, her lightsaber hilt, and swing it upwards, but there's nothing there. So she's definitely like I feel like giving her a single blade is a misuse of her character, considering when she does fight in episode 7, she's fighting with a bow staff essentially, and she's very accustomed to using that. So
Yeah,
this
she's
was
very
just her
effective.
not being accustomed to doing something like that.
I'm sorry. Are you really gonna tell me that Carrie Fisher thought that well ahead? I think you're seeing things.
What?
Not Carrie
Huh?
Fisher. Not Carrie Fisher. I'm saying you really think that like that was that thought ahead that like that.
Well, every time she has fought, the way she moves when she swings the lightsaber is as if you were holding a bow staff. The way it's these large, like downward strikes, sweeps to the right, left, and right. That's bow staff fighting. That's not sword fighting. That's fighting with a bow staff. That's different. Like you can see the way she moves when she swings. That like her character is used to holding a bow staff, not a lightsaber. Because she lived on Jakku for like God knows how many years. She had to get accustomed to fighting off other scavengers. When she does fight the guy that's trying to kidnap BB-8, she literally fights it with a bow staff manner. So she's so accustomed to that because it's ingrained in her. That's like sitting here telling me, "Hey man, I need you to do this job with your right hand for like a year straight." All right, is that very comfortable? Like you're pretty good at that? Yeah, I'm right-handed. All right, now do the same thing, but with your left hand, the hand that you don't really practice with, your non-dominant hand. It's gonna take some time to get used to because
Yes,
you're
but
more accustomed to using your more dominant side.
okay, fine.
This is
All I'm
like-
saying is that there might be good parts in the movie. I'm not saying there isn't, right? But the bad parts about this movie outweigh the good parts 3-1.
all right. You keep that same mindset when we do Marvel movies because I'm telling you, and it's like if the one's an F tier, it's staying an F tier because this movie is at least a low D, and that's why I got it on my ranking. It's low D.
I'm willing to put it high F.
Nah, putting it in the same area as Episode 8 is a disgrace because
The
Episode
story
8
was
is
just
utter
as-
god.
The story was just as bad.
Let me ask you this: if you were sat there and they said, "All right, pick between Episode 8 and 9," would you really sit and go, "Yeah, I'd want to watch Episode 8 again"?
I wouldn't want to watch episode 9 again.
But if you were put in that situation, you'd probably pick episode 9 because it's got a longer runtime.
I'd shoot
I would.
myself. I'd shoot myself
Nah,
before I watch either.
No, I'd say the same thing about some Marvel movies.
Actually, I would.
Soccer deciding factor. Soccer's a tiebreaker. I say low D, you say high F. Soccer, you decide this.
This is actually pretty hard right here.
Yeah.
Just
Well, we need to
Like, there's so many good points about both of them.
TikTok, you're on the clock.
I had
Probably
forgotten
don't
about
stop
a lot of those stuff, like a lot of those scenes. And as soon as I remember them, like that immediately moved them up to like a low D, like just barely.
Okay, I did say that we were gonna do majority here and we were gonna even it out, but I maintain my thing that this is a F. I would say it's only like 10% better than episode 8. It's not even.
And that 10% is all that matters.
Yeah, like 10 to 15, but I think slightly.
It's for me, it's like 5 to 10% better than episode 8. But I have so much hatred for episode 8 that just putting this movie anywhere near it is just an offense.
Rogue One.
Yeah, like,
I
it's
think
barely-
that's S.
Rogue One's S tier.
What's funny?
Okay,
I hated. I don't think it's better than episode 3, but I hated. I can be honest. When I first saw it, I hated it mainly because I was on that. It was around the time I think I saw it around the time like Endgame came out or Infinity War came out, so I was still on that like, dude, like heroes shouldn't lose kind of mentality, right? I was like, man, and seeing the heroes lose, that sucks. Like, what's the point of bonding with these characters if they're just gonna die in the end, right?
Yeah.
So, but as I've grown up, right, I've rewatched it. I've gone, like I said, me and my family would go watch all the movies, right? This was part of it, right? I've become to love it. Especially
K2SO.
K2SO is great.
K2SO.
Honestly, all of those characters, even the blind guy was one of my favorites. And
The Vietnam thing we got with the U-wing on Scarif.
yeah, it was great. I loved it, and I feel like it deserves
good.
S. I feel like it deserves S.
There's so much good. We see Vader, and it's like that really imposing. It's really scary,
Dude,
and threatening.
that
You
fight
get Director
scene.
Krennic.
That fight scene was great, dude. Seeing Vader, seeing him at the hall, it pitch black. See that red lightsaber. It
Vader nearly
illuminates him.
killed. Vader nearly killed himself doing that. By the way,
Yeeks.
you want to know why?
Why?
Am I doing what?
That panel on his chest is his life support system. It glows. It makes noise. Vader turned that off to stand in the dark and then immediately like stop breathing, ignite the lightsaber, and then turn it on. So he's in immense pain and suffering. He can't breathe because his lungs are scorched. He's like suffering all just to be dramatic and using the force to blow wind in his cape.
Dude was like, you know what? No. Or farming your.
You wanted
This is
to
worth
terrify them.
This is worth it. This might kill me, but guys, it's worth it. Trust me.
You wanted them to feel the fear
Everything-
of death.
Everything about it was
But
great.
it was great. It was great. Like I said, I
It was
didn't like it
great.
at first, right? But because I didn't like the fact that like everyone died. But like growing up, years past, I love it. It's perfect.
Solo-
I cannot see this thing
Solo
anymore.
C tier.
I agree. I think it's a very mid movie. I put it above Force Awakens, but only slightly.
No, I put it behind Force Awakens, and the reason being, we're sat here and told that Han Solo is the greatest pilot in the entire galaxy. Granted, there was some hints about the way that the ship was talking. Oh, he can't see, by the way.
Oh.
There was like, C3 goes, oh, sorry, the ship's talking to me, and it's saying some really mean things or whatever. And that's like, oh, wow, like, I wonder, like, what's in the ship? And then we find out that Han can't even fly. Like, the first time we see him fly or do anything in a vehicle, he's driving a speeder car, he gets it wedged, he gets it stuck. He goes in he goes into the military, he fights in the Imperial Army. They're fighting on Mimban. He joins a rogue guy's crew, becoming like a pirate or whatever. He gets behind the wheels of one of the ships and crashes it. He can't fly. Han Solo cannot fly. How he got his name was also very stupid. So stupid.
I don't know. I kind of.
His first name is Han, and when he goes to the recruit, he goes, name Han, last name, I don't have one. So you're a Solo then?
No, it's
like,
not last name. It's like who's your family or who's your family? And he's like, I'm a family of one.
Yeah, and then you just go Solo, huh?
So that's how he got his name.
That's how he got his name. His first name is actually Han. His last name just is because the military recruiter was like, instead of just saying, well, do you have a name or anything? Because he had people there on Corellia, but he
he didn't.
lied.
He was an orphan. No, he didn't lie. He had because he thought that what's her name died. He was her family.
Yeah,
So
and he could have just used her family name. Could have done that, but he didn't.
Well, they
but
were
he
orphans.
also
I don't even think they had family names.
Oh no, yeah, Han was an orphan, but Han could have said anything, and just going, oh, so you're Solo then? That is so that was so stupid. But it was funny.
Liked it. I liked it.
It was funny.
weird.
It was funny, but it was stupid. I was like, I audibly groaned along with like 14 of the people in the movie theaters when it came out. We all just went, oh God, really? That's how? Not because he always did it. Like, and Han did a lot of things by himself after he thought that she died. He did a lot by himself, and so I was like, oh, because his first name's Han, but he's always by himself and alone. That people go, oh yeah, he's just a solo guy, like he's just one dude. But it wasn't that. How him and Chewbacca met was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I
like it. It gave me like Rocket and Groot vibes.
Him cheating in the game was pretty cool.
Well, no, it was him being cheated on, and then like he got cheated by Lando, and then he.
No, I'm talking about the end. I'm talking about the end of him cheating was funny.
Yeah, and him getting the ship that way. I thought that was cool.
L3, whatever that droid's name is, I found it. I don't know
funny.
Dude, she had the attitude of a sassy black woman, but I didn't understand, and I really struggled with. Lando says that this droid has everything, every hyperspace lane route, every uncharted hyperspace route, like this thing has all of it, and because she's never had her memory wiped, which is like, oh wow, that's a really big deal. And then when she gets shot and right before she dies, she gets uploaded into the Millennium Falcon. And that's the only reason why Han's able to do all his smuggling. He can't fly. He does not know charts. That ship knows it. He audibly says, oh, we're going to go here. And he just starts digging. When he's inputting everything, he starts quickly digging. And L3, who's essentially the Millennium Falcon, does all of it. She does it all. He doesn't do anything. But you wouldn't know that because the way Han carries himself around, you think that he's the greatest pilot in the galaxy. We also get to see the Kessel Run, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But this is definite C tier because it had the freeing of the Wookiees. As much as I liked Han Solo, I really didn't care for him because he wasn't as interesting as the rest of the cast.
See, I like that it's set up, and I'm kind of upset that we never followed up on it. It's set up like Darth Maul.
Set up for a sequel.
It's set up for a sequel that we never got, which I'm kind of upset about. Especially because the sequel would have brought back Darth Maul. In live action, which would have been great. I would have been so happy.
Season 1 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
8th year.
Here's the thing. I feel like
I've never seen it.
Very slow.
That
it's bad. And
it had Western.
Really good moments, but to me it's like a high B tier.
It's A because Western. It felt like watching Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I think he's in there. It felt like watching an old sci-fi cowboy show, and it was really good because this is post Empire. This is after the fall and everything, and the remnants before the First Order. All this stuff, because again with Mandalorians, when they were introduced in the Clone Wars TV show, there was a lot of mystery about them. Like, we know Pre Vizsla was the first Jedi Mandalorian and all this stuff, but we really didn't know the Mandalorians. Like, we get a little bit here and there in the TV show, but we didn't know them. and to finally get one that's like of a sect, because there was like 5 different variations of the Mandalorian culture and all that, and there's these sects and all that stuff. I enjoyed it. I loved the Razor Crest. Jon Favreau did a beautiful job. So did Bryce Dallas Howard. They like everyone involved did. The story was so good. The soundtrack was beautiful. The sets were great. It was season 1 was great. I loved when they introduced Grogu, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is that?" And then it was like what could be so important? And then it turns out to be a member of Yoda species, which everyone speculated about.
Which we still don't have a name for.
I think there's a name. I don't remember what, but it's a community given name.
I remember.
It's a community given name.
I remember I got a guidebook, an official guidebook about every single, like character,
species name, and all that.
A character, and every from the droids to like everyone, right? When I was a kid, and it was in alphabetical order. So when you finally got to Yoda,
Decatoli. What?
Did you look it up? Soccer.
Gremlin.
Yeah, I'm just gonna copy and paste it in the chat because I don't know how to say this because it's often called this.
I'm waiting for it to pop up.
Tridactyl.
Tridactyl, yeah.
Yeah, because he has 3 fingers and 3 toes. Yeah, tridactyl. All right.
Congratulations, Gremlin. You've been promoted to research guy.
I have 4 martyrs. I'm in.
And then I love that we're
no
like,
pay
oh my
raise,
god.
by the way.
I love how we're like, oh my god, it's a baby. And then they go, oh, by the way, that thing's 60 years old. And you're like, huh? That's 60? Oh my god, and Yoda was like over 100?
I think he's like over 300.
Yeah, Yoda's like over 300 years old. And you're like, oh my god, like how long does the species live for? Which I still hold to think that Yoda and Yaddle, that's their kid. Yoda just didn't want to pay child support. That's it. That I'm sticking with that because there's no way, like, and all that. Season 1 of The Mandalorian, A tier. Beautiful. It set it up. It was great. It gave us the remnants and all that.
I'm willing to let this one go. You know what? I'm willing to let this one go. I still maintain that it's a high B, but I'm willing to let it be a low A.
High B, low A.
I'm willing to let that happen, yeah.
Season 2.
I feel like
beautiful.
I feel like that was really good. I think the first season is better.
We get to see the Darksaber as the season finale for season 2. Oh my god, dude! Reddit and Star Wars forums were aflame, dude. Because the thing about it was everyone was like, "How did he get it? Like, how did he get that? Because you can't just take it; you have to fight for that." Because the last one that had it was Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought somebody else got it after.
It went to Bo-Katan, and then Gideon took it from her.
Here's the thing. I feel like what kind of makes me upset about this is the whole CGI, and how bad it was, too. The CGI Luke Skywalker.
I thought that was a cool scene.
I thought it was really cool.
I don't know. I didn't like how it looked.
It didn't look that bad though. Like it was like but it didn't look that bad. Bill Burr being in there was amazing. I love the comedy scene where he's sitting in the Imperial Outpost and he's eating food or whatever, and he's talking to and he didn't know it at the time, but he's talking to the guy that got his friends killed. And when the guy goes, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah, some stupid whatever, some dumb order," Bill Burr just looks at him, doesn't say anything, and just shoots the guy in the chest. Like, oh my god, it was so great. I loved it. It was great. At season 2A, it was good. Season 3 is B. I'll say that.
Would we say Mandalorian season 1 is better than episode 1, or I'd say it's worse?
I'd say it's right behind episode 1.
Now, this, I'd say, I feel like my problem with season 3 was it felt
rushed.
It felt rushed, but it also felt like there was so much that was like catering to people. Like it was less about like telling the story and more about like catering?
It felt like it was more worried about telling Grogu's side after we kind of get some things, because season 2 also introduced Ahsoka, I believe.
No, season 2 introduced.
Season 2 introduced Gideon.
No, it did introduce Ahsoka, but that was like one episode.
Yeah, but even then, we learned a lot, because we also got Boba Fett. We also got that sniper lady that we find out in the book of Boba Fett how she gets her mechanical stomach.
I didn't think we got Boba Fett yet.
We haven't gotten to the book of Boba Fett. Oh no, we got Boba Fett in season 2.
Did we?
Because
I know we got that one guy, that one bounty hunter, but I didn't think we got Boba Fett.
No, we got Boba Fett because he goes to that planet that like they're like take the child here, and it's strong in the Force energy or whatever, and then he goes there, and I think this is also no, because that's season 3. No, but yeah, like this is whenever he's like the Razor Crest gets destroyed. He's left without a ship, and
I'm
yeah,
willing to give this a low B. Probably the
This is
lowest
low
B we
B.
have. So I just put it right there.
Obi-Wan Kenobi soccer. What are your thoughts on this one?
Never seen it.
All right, I say S tier.
I say S tier too.
S tier.
Well, is it?
The fight scene, I say it's a low S. I say it's less than Rogue One and
Episode 3.
Episode
But
3.
it's right above
It's-
Empire Strikes Back.
It is.
It's,
First off, seeing Ewan McGregor again and Hayden Christensen, right? Oh, I forgot how much I loved seeing Ewan McGregor as Kenobi, man.
Obi-Wan.
It was such a fresh air, dude. He played it so well, right? I like that he had a connection to Leia, right?
yeah.
I like that I saw him struggle with kind of being a Jedi after everything that happened, because I feel
Yeah.
like it makes so much sense that like the boy he trained, the one he considered a brother, right, is what destroyed the order he represented, right? It is the leading cause of that. So it's only natural he feel, especially with the way his character is, it's only natural he feel guilt and like kind of like. So seeing all that, seeing the Inquisitors were in live action was great, right? Especially like the High Inquisitor, right, where we saw him in.
It goes to A.
No, dude, no.
No. It goes to A.
No, dude. Okay, let me tell you what else would put it back to S, right? The fight scenes whenever Vader was involved.
Yeah, but that one Inquisitor, she ruins it.
No.
She knew too much. She knew too much stuff that she should not have known. She knew who Darth Vader was. She knew who Obi-Wan was. She knew about the kids. No, that is
Because
bull.
she was a kid. And
No. Here's the thing. Her being a Padawan and going through Order 66. Okay, fine. But here's the thing. No one knew what happened to Anakin. All they know is he died. He's this myth, this legend that's turned into this fallen hero and was slain by Darth Vader. No one knows who Vader is. Obi-Wan did not know who Vader was until he had his encounter with him at some point. It wasn't shown in the show, but it was before episode 4 when he like really meditates with the Force. And it's like, I think it's after whenever he talks to the spirit of Qui-Gon at the very end that he finds out who this is.
No,
because
he knew before that.
because he could not believe, because in his mind Anakin died. He killed him.
Well,
Anakin was dead on
He knew
Mustafar.
before that because the last
No.
scene of the he did. Let me explain. He did know because remember there was that scene because the last scene of the show was when he's talking to Qui-Gon's ghost.
That's
and he's
what I'm
like,
saying.
No,
but he couldn't believe it. No, he could not believe that it was. He had an inclination that it was, but he did not believe that it was Anakin.
The last fight scene between Vader and Kenobi literally has Vader's mask being broken in half, and he sees
but what I'm
Hayden
saying
Christensen's
is that he sees it. He sees that that's Anakin's face in there, but he doesn't believe it. He refuses to believe. Yes, he refuses to believe until he talks with Qui-Gon, and then he gets that confirmation that what he saw was in fact Anakin, because he refused to believe that that was Anakin. But the fact that sister knew who Anakin was, knew about Obi-Wan Kenobi, knew about Luke and Leia's existence and where they're hidden should not have happened. She should not know that, because if she did, she would have died. She would have been killed, because Vader killed an Inquisitor that dug too deep on him. Vader would not have let her live.
No,
So
okay,
no,
first
she should not have known as much.
Okay.
That was my biggest issue.
Okay, first off, the fact I'm gonna refute you on the fact that like we literally get a scene where he has his mask off and he says, "I'm no and Vader's is pretty much saying, "I'm no longer Anakin Skywalker. Like I've killed Anakin Skywalker. Like there's no more. Like I'm now Darth Vader, right? Like I've killed the Anakin Skywalker in me." And then you see Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi saying that I guess my friend is really dead, and he walks off. So he knew that Anakin Skywalker was still alive, right? That he was already proven.
But at the same time, he understands Anakin's dead, but at the same time, he's refusing to believe that, because in Episode 4, he proves that, or Episode 5, he proves that Anakin's still alive. So no,
he believes it, but that doesn't mean that. Okay, whatever. Okay, well, I still maintain that's a low S.
I say this is high A, not low S, but this is A, because that female Inquisitor should not have known as much as she knew, because she would have been killed. Her sitting there going and openly saying, "I know all about Anakin Skywalker. I know all about I know all about Luke and Leia." First of all,
she didn't know about Luke and Leia. She didn't know about Luke and Leia until
she knew. No, but she knew about Leia. But that's after she had all this, like, people go like digging. But even then, the fact that she was the child of Anakin Skywalker was literally kept. There was nothing on it. There was no records of it. She was literally listed as an orphan that was adopted by Bail Organa and his wife on Alderaan. Everything about her is listed on Alderaan, not Polis Massa, and her mom was Padme and blah blah blah. No, none of that was there, because they wanted to keep it secret, because they had a feeling Vader would have dug around trying to like find something or whatever, because he knew Padme was pregnant. No, so to sit there and go, "I know Leia's Anakin's child," blah, no, she should not have known that. That broke everything right there. She should not have known that information. I don't care how much digging she does, because the moment she starts digging into Anakin Skywalker, Vader would have put a stop to it. So she literally single-handedly brought the show down. Everything else about the show was great, but it is A tier. It's not S.
Fine. It's high A though. It's better than
it's high. That's why I said low S, high A. That Inquisitor really ruined it ruined that.
That's high D.
Yeah, it wasn't even about Boba Fett.
It's not. It's like Mandalorian season 3.5 or 2.5.
It's Mandalorian. It's Mandalorian season 3.5. It's Ahsoka season 0.5. Like, it never dealt with Boba Fett as much.
I'd say it's better than episode 9.
I'll say that too. Book of Boba Fett had a lot of issues though.
Yeah.
That one guy that kept getting shot in like the head, and then when the camera would cut back to like the guy that shot him and cut back to him, he was standing on his feet again. Yeah. Something that was destroyed was automatically repaired. A lot of inconsistencies with continuity with certain things happening.
I mean, that's Disney for you.
Andor A.
Yeah, I'd say A. I'd put it.
I loved Andor so much that like the bias in me wants to say S, but this is high A.
I'd put it below episode 1. I feel like again, for me, I love the lightsaber fights. It's like one of my favorite parts of Star Wars. So it's hard for me to put this show was amazing, right? It was a great change of pace, great like action, like everything, right? But
I put this in front of the Kenobi series.
No, I can't.
I do, because there was weight to everything. Andor was like such a like somebody that like is on the run, like he knows things that he shouldn't, which is funny. and he's doing all these things that he shouldn't be doing. He's that guy that's constantly looking over his shoulder. He's getting himself into trouble. All he wanted to do was make a better life for the woman that took care of him. That was it, and pay back some of his debts. That was it.
I can't put it above episode 1. Dude, the fight scenes in that were just too. The fight scenes in episode 1 were just too incredible to put this. Now, again, I'm not saying this to diminish Andor. I think Andor is probably the best series, right, that Disney Plus has released.
The other thing that I'm gonna say,
besides Kenobi,
the other thing that I'm gonna say, I put it. If anything, I'll put it behind the Kenobi series because Kenobi was just really good with the lightsaber fight. But I will put this up in front of episode 5 for the sole fact of that prison sequence, the prison episodes. That was the most on edge I had ever been watching it. I was stressed.
Well, you knew he was never. Here's my problem. You knew he wasn't gonna die.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, those people that he was like, "We're gonna get out of here, trust me," and like only one person died. And that was the old man due to the medication or whatever. He just didn't get medication in time. Like, normally when somebody says, "Don't worry, we're going to get out of here," either everyone lives or like nearly everyone dies. But to lose one guy and then that whole prison sequence, like the way that they have like, "Oh, we don't have to carry weapons. All we have to do is hit this button and this intense gravity field just drops you to your knees and it causes pain." And then, oh, by the way, if you try to do anything you're not supposed to, the floor will literally incinerate you.
What?
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I'd be willing to put it behind Kenobi.
The prison sequence was the most like, oh my god, because like there were points where Andor did something in that prison scene, and you're like, oh, he's gonna die, and they're like, he had like these very close calls, and I'm sitting there going, oh, please don't die, and then I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, he's in Rogue One, he's not gonna die, but it's like, oh, like don't you die?
Yeah, I can.
But it was like, oh, like I had to go back and rewatch Rogue One just to be like, is he really alive in there? Like I think he dies at the end of the movie. Let me go back and check. Like Andor made me go back and watch Rogue One.
Okay, now
and when
Ahsoka, I gotta put
B.
I gotta put it above episode 1. That's literally where I'm thinking high B. Yeah, and here's why. I feel like once again,
episode 2.
Huh?
Episode 2's in B. Episode 1's in A.
That's what I meant. Yeah. I gotta put it above episode 2. It's
my biggest gripe.
Go ahead.
The lightsaber scene with Sabine Wren getting stabbed.
Yeah. I feel
that's my biggest issue.
Yeah. I feel like that is right. Now I'll be honest, right? I like Sabine. I like the live action Sabine when she had long hair over the short hair. That's just a preference.
Here's the big problem with it. It's just live action Rebels.
It's live action, and honestly, I don't hate it for that. I don't hate it for that.
No, I don't hate it for that. But my problem was it really didn't focus on Ahsoka that much. Like, yeah, there's some episodes where it's like really in her and all that, but that secondary story of Sabine, just make a live action Rebels, for crying out loud. Come on, just give us a live action Rebels. You could have done that.
They've shown Zeb in live action in The Mandalorian.
Give us a live action Rebels. You can do it.
I can put it here. I can put it here.
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
Like if you're gonna introduce Ahsoka and you're gonna introduce Sabine and Hera and all this stuff, like give us the live action Rebels.
And Chopper is great.
Chopper, oh my god, Chopper's great.
Okay, so next up we got Acolyte. I don't feel like I can put this any higher than a high D. What about you?
All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say it's at least low B, high C.
You are crazy.
The lightsaber fights were insane.
The lightsaber fights were, dude. We got a light whip, we got a Wookiee Jedi, but the story was so inconsistent and so like.
Honestly, though, it kind of wasn't, because this was the era of the High Republic where they were very shady. And this was like before we got what we see in episode 1, 2, and 3, and in the Clone Wars. my one gripe was the green lady with the lightsaber whip. My big issue with it is, and it's literally just a cosmetic, because in the book she has hair, but in the book she also does go bald. No, like this whole like
Here,
every episode had me going, what is this secret? What is the secret that they're hiding? Like I was engaged the entire time. The one issue that I had a big problem with was that Padawan, the little spiky hair lady.
mhm.
The one issue I had was it was awkward because it felt like this love thing between her and the clone sister, but not
It
really.
wasn't a clone sister; it was a twin.
Yeah, but one of them, but they're not made the normal way, so it's a clone.
It's
They're
not a
made.
clone though. It's like they were made through and that was my biggest gripe of the series. Is I feel like they were made through the Force, like apparently Anakin was. But the problem is, I feel like that diminishes Anakin. Like Anakin's supposed to be this one in a million thing. The fact that his mother got pregnant with no one, he got pregnated by the Force, right? That's
But
supposed to make, and the fact that it happened for these twins
So
makes it.
my thing is and I understand where you're coming from, but my thing is, we know Plagueis had been searching for a way to create life, and it is stated that Anakin's mom got pregnant by Plagueis. He manipulated the Force in the midichlorians and the Force inside of her and created Anakin. We know he had been searching for the way to do it. And as we see in like the second to last episode, Plagueis there on whatever planet they were on, um, and stuff like that. My thing about it was, it makes sense. Someone had to have created the ability to create life by manipulating the Force for Plagueis to know it. Because if no one has done it, there's no way he's gonna figure it out. I am disappointed that it's not getting a season 2, because I really felt like they were gonna really explain all of this, because there was a lot of open ends that I felt like that really needed to be answered. But having the twins be created by the Witches Coven, I'm okay with that, because the Night Sisters are completely mysterious. We really don't know anything about the magic in Star Wars.
No.
We finally got to see Tarkata, Jedi hand-to-hand combat. I really enjoyed seeing that.
I'd be willing to put it. I'd be willing
That's
to
what I'm
put it
saying,
between
Steve.
Solo. I'd be willing to put it between Solo and Episode 7.
I'm willing to put this in front of episode 7 because the costumes looked great, the sound design looked great, the characters were pretty good.
You know what? Here, I'll agree with you on the on one basis and one basis only. The
Which
fight
is?
scenes were so much better.
The fights were so much better.
The fights were so much better. I'm willing to put it in. I'm willing to put it above.
I was literally surprised when that I don't remember his name. The muscular guy, the one that was like, no, you need to stop or whatever. The one that did the schooling with the girl. I was honestly surprised when he died. Like, that caught me off guard. I at least thought he was gonna make it. And he dies, and like it almost I'm like, oh my god, that's so lame. But it's almost like, oh my god, that guy is so powerful, and it was just snapping his neck, physically grabbing him, and then manipulating the Force in your hand to just snap his neck and kill him. And I was like, oh my god. Also, all the trippy stuff he was doing, I was like, that's a guy that has learned from a master. And I was really hoping we would get to know who the master was. I had a complaint about the helmet and the gauntlets that he had, how it deactivated a lightsaber. But after digging, it is a metal that is known to disrupt a lightsaber's magnetic field and cause it to enact its safety mechanism and shut the blade off. So, this, I was learning a lot of cool stuff. And I was like, that's pretty neat.
Okay.
So that's C tier.
Skeleton Crew. So now, honestly, this one's completely on you. I haven't seen it.
Okay, Skeleton Crew. How do I put this? It's an awkward show.
Yeah.
It's awkward, not in a bad sense, because it has you sitting there guessing every time. So when episode 1 starts, it starts like any Star Wars thing, a space battle. a ship coming into the distance, over the screen, into the camera, and a fight ensuing. And then it grabs you by the back of your shirt and it yanks you back. Like, it pulls you out hard. So you go from in the galaxy, in the actual Star Wars universe and all that stuff, and you get ripped out of it. And you're placed on a planet called Adatin. This planet doesn't exist. Now, I know what you're thinking. What do you mean it doesn't exist? This planet is not on any star charts. It doesn't show up in the galaxy. Anytime the kids would mention it, people were like quick joking around, where are you from? Your planet doesn't exist. That's not a real planet. And so they go doing all this digging and trying to figure out like where their home is. And it's all about getting home. And you find out Adatin is an old Republic planet that has a grid system that basically shields it from the universe. It has these things that project an illusion of a giant electrical gas planet. So you would look at it and you'd go, that's not Adatin, that's just a normal gas giant. But if you tried to fly through the planet, the grid would kill you. It would shoot electricity to blow up your ship. And it blocks all outside communication because it's a hidden jewel. It's a paradise. And it's the only planet that still produces Old Republic currency, which is the most valuable currency in the entire Star Wars universe. And kid actors are hit or miss. These kids are like a hit 95% of the time.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like, it starts off like how me and you would be as kids playing Star Wars. Running around holding a starfighter, going, pew, 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 and then playing with dolls of Jedi toys and stuff like that. Like, it pulled me out so hard, I had to pause and go, am I still watching this? And I was like, oh, yeah. And I just finished it. Skeleton Crew is a high A, low S. And I say that because the guy you see on the image, that guy in the background, I want you to guess what he is. So tell me, who do you think he is?
An officer?
Nope.
He's not like a Force user, is he?
Oh, buddy, he's a Force user, but he is not a good guy or bad guy.
He's a gray.
So is a gray?
No, he's not a Jedi.
He's a gray though?
No, he's not a gray. He doesn't use, all he uses is force pull and stuff like that. That's it. He's not a Jedi.
So he's
At least we don't know.
himself. He just trained himself or something like that.
We don't know. All we know is he's a pirate that has gone. In the beginning, in episode 1, he leads the crew, and then they like mutiny him or whatever. They lock him in a jail cell because he promised them riches, and they attacked this like Volt ship, and it had a single credit on the ship. So they throw him in the brig and mutiny against him.
I mean, I would have. That was the case.
The whole time. So this one kid, his name is Quim. He like, I want to be a Jedi. I want to help people. All this stuff. He's not force sensitive at all. There's a point where he finds a lightsaber in like a pirate cave. Like this old pirate, like I guess stole a Jedi's lightsaber, and the kid picks it up, and he's holding it. And you're like, oh my god, he's about to do something cool. No, he's holding the lightsaber upside down, ignites it, and shoots the blade in between his legs.
Nice.
And the dude picks it up, and then he's like, he threatens to kill their parents. He threatens to like all this stuff that like you would sit there and go, why would you can't say that to a child? Like when these kids have fear, they project fear really well. Like there are points where I'm like, oh, please don't do this. Please don't make them do that. Like I don't want to see them get hurt. The Q33, the robot that you can see on there, oh my god, he's funny. I love him. He's just as funny as K2SO. So I say Skeleton Crew is an A.
Okay.
It's a high A.
With that, what are we thinking? Would that Kenobi?
Oh, but like in front of Kenobi, it's good.
Are you?
Dog, when I tell you,
You realize the only reason you put Kenobi down here was because of one person.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sitting here telling you, dude, when he gets his riches, he doesn't get his riches. He gets the biggest like pull wool over your eyes. Like it is the story is so good. It's consistent.
Okay,
It is
I'm gonna
good.
trust you on this.
Char-
Like I said, I haven't
char-
seen it, so I can't
Character
argue.
development character development's worth it. It's worth it for these child actors. All right, Star Wars Micro Series, immediate S tier.
Yep, I can agree with that. I don't
S-
think it's better than these. But
It's behind Rogue One. It is
Yeah.
S tier. All right, we're gonna quickly pick these up. We're gonna go a little bit quicker.
yeah, because honestly, this could probably be an episode in itself.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the movie, B tier.
I would
The
say
animation
low
was-
A. I would say
Well,
I'd put it right here.
Low A. All right.
Because I will admit that's kind of it's a bit nostalgia, right? Because I had the
Little
DVD
nostalgia.
of that, but I
My-
watched that thing hundreds of
my-
times.
My issue is I don't understand how the graphics can look better than season 1 of the Clone Wars, but at the same time, it's very funny that when Ahsoka says that the Huttlet has a fever, Anakin checks it with his robot hand and not his human hand. That's kind of funny.
I mean, he
Like,
probably
that's
have
funny.
sensors to feel and stuff.
Yeah, but he's wearing a glove though, so it was just funny. Kid's
Yeah.
got a fever, touches it, goes, "Yep, I feel a fever."
Okay,
It's funny.
see-
I'm like, how do you feel it?
Season 1, I'd say A.
Wait, soccer had something to say.
I know, I was just saying, like, how would you feel that? But if you have senses, it makes sense.
Yeah, he has sensors in his hands, but it was just funny.
Yeah.
Season 1 of the Clone Wars, B tier. The art style, the CGI was so weird. Like there was points where like Ahsoka's forehead was too wide and Anakin's was like really weird. But I put it like in front of Episode 2. Actually, you know what? No, I even put it in front of Ahsoka because like
Yeah,
in
I'm
episode
proud of that.
season 1 had a lot of beloved characters.
Yeah.
It was the first time we saw Yoda fight. It's when we saw Saj Ventress, Coruscant Guard, the Wolf Pack, everything.
Yeah.
I heard CG.
Like I could see, yeah. Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Yes, I'm trying to remember what's
Eighth year.
happened. Yeah, I'd say, like I said, for me, the entire Clone Wars in general is kind of just
Okay.
around
So
here.
here's where my picks get controversial.
Mm.
3, 4, and 5 all high A's. 6 and 7 S tier.
How's that controversial?
Because a lot of people will sit here and say that seasons 3 and 4 weren't necessarily the best, but to be like in an A tier, like they should be B tier with season 1 and 2.
I feel like these two are mid A tier.
Yeah, these like 3, 4, and 5 are like A B tier.
I would put the final season above the micros.
I would put season 6 above the micros, and I'd put
Yeah.
season 7 like right behind episode 3
I think
because
that's fair.
it's what leads
I think
right into
that's
episode
fair.
3.
I think that's fair.
Star Wars-
So season 3, that's I put it.
Season 3 I put in B tier, right behind season 1.
Season 4.
And 4 and 5 I put on A tier because
behind episode 1.
yeah, I put it behind the movie. Behind season 1 too.
So you say right here.
Yeah, because we got Maul back, we got
Yeah.
the more Mandalorian stuff.
But it
Uh,
still had some. Now, Star Wars Rebels. I love Rebels. That was my show.
Oh my god, I hated season 1 so much because I couldn't get used to the art style because it's the Ralph McQuarrie art style.
See, I think
I'd say B, high B.
agreed.
Yeah, I can
would
never
put, I would
get
put it
hold of it.
above Ahsoka for what it gave us and where it ended off, and like it was a good starting point.
Yeah. What about you, Soccer?
Yeah, I could never really get behind the art style. And I remember growing up with this series as well, so yeah, that's a good place.
Season 2, I'm gonna say B tier.
I'm gonna say low A, purely
I'm
for
gonna
the
The fear factor.
fear factor and the start with Vader. Dude, that scene
Alright.
itself was so good. So I'd be willing
The
to
scene
put
is
it.
pretty
I'd be
good.
willing to put it here, below
Yeah.
season 2.
Yeah. Season 3,
That was a
Eight.
really good one.
A tier. Maul was really good.
Yeah.
Ezra struggling was really good.
I'd put it above the movie. The Clone Wars
I
movie.
wouldn't go that far.
Really?
I wouldn't go that far.
You know what? Above season 2.
I'll agree with above season 2, but not above the movie. The movie started the whole animated series, anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Season 5?
That one was really good.
Or no? How many seasons of Rebels are there? There's
5. Wait, 1. Yeah, 4.
okay. Season 4.
Cause yeah, season 4. Cause Ahsoka's like season 5.
Yeah, season
it's
4
4.
B tier.
I feel like if we're
Um,
gonna put it B tier, it's gotta be high B tier.
I will put it right next to season 1.
I feel like I gotta put it here, cause like especially when you got closer to the end, right?
Yeah,
We got Ezra sacrificing himself, Jared sacrificing himself, that whole thing, plus finding out that like Hera's pregnant.
Yeah, but I still sit here and say I put it next to season 1 of Rebels. I don't put it above anything in the Clone Wars because the Clone Wars had so many beloved characters and so much more going on with it than Rebels really had. Rebels had like a lot like centered around just Ghost Squadron, whereas Clone Wars really like it covered a lot. It spread itself out perfectly. All of the Clone Wars series was spread out perfectly. I love Clone Wars. Clone Wars will always be better than Rebels in my opinion.
100%.
But yeah.
Okay, the shorts.
Hold on, wait, we didn't do the final season.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, there's
What's
only
the
4.
final season?
Oh, there's only 4? Oh.
Yeah, I looked
I
it up.
never I'm gonna be 100% honest. I watched like 2 episodes of the shorts and then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna finish this.
I would say
I put
Below
in
Solo.
not watched.
Yeah, I've never seen
I'd
it.
say that. You know what? I'd say that.
I'd say
I
Below
never
Solo.
finished. I
It's
never
better than
finished
Boba
it.
Fett
but-
because you have to realize it's not like you're really telling a series. It's a
You're
very
not,
like
you're just-
episodic
it's-
kind of.
It's like
thing.
in between every major episode.
Yeah,
so.
and it has some good moments. It has some funny moments. I'd be willing to put it below Solo.
All right,
Boba Fett.
Resistance. I refuse to watch it.
I haven't seen it, so I can't.
It's
I
going
can't
and not
comment.
watch. All of Resistance going and not watch because I refuse to watch it.
Why is that?
Bad Batch
Bad
season
Batch?
1.
Dude,
S.
that's going on S. You know what? That's going.
S.
That's
Going
below
right
this.
behind season. That's going right behind season 7.
No, it's better than season 7, dude.
Nah, because
Yeah.
season 7 introduces the Bad Batch.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
that
right.
is true.
Season 2
That-
and 3, I want to say they follow up. At the very least, if we're
They
not
follow
doing
up
S,
very well.
if we're not gonna put them like line up like this, I feel like we gotta put them high S or high A. High A.
High A. I'm gonna go high A. I'm gonna go in front of Andor, but behind Kenobi for seasons 2 and 3.
Okay, I can accept that.
Tales of the Jedi, S tier. Same with Tales of the Empire, S tier, right in front of the micro series. Because this gave us Dooku's fall, the death of
Which,
Yaddle, all this good stuff. Ahsoka's introduction into the series,
And
everything.
we saw her
It was
kind of how she lived her life after.
Tales
Saul.
of Tales of the Empire, so good because it follows Asajj Ventress and some other minor characters like that. So well done. And that's S tier as well.
Agreed.
Vision season. I think
One
this is
and
season
two.
1.
1 and
Yeah.
2.
Season 1. So I know a lot of people really hated Visions because their thing was this isn't Star Wars. Star Wars isn't like this. But my thought on Visions was, as the name entitles, it's everyone else's vision of what Star Wars could be to them, and I really enjoyed it. Like I loved it. The lightsaber katana, the Jedi Master performing that. I don't remember the name of the move, but it's considered cowardly by the Jedi Order. where you turn the lightsaber off and you turn it back on and you stab your opponent.
Oh, I forgot the move as well. Dang
I
it!
forgot the name of them. But like that was so cool getting to see that, and like everything about it was so good. The one thing I loved was the brother sister thing where they had a Star Destroyer that was connected together that had a major like Star Destroyer style weapon in the center. That was kind of funny and cool. The one with the bride was so good. The music, oh my god, I loved season 1.
I want to put it high D above Boba Fett. What do you feel?
You said high. Wait, you said high B?
High D above Boba Fett.
No, Visions is not D tier. If you sit there and you go, all right, I know this is not connected in any way to Star Wars. This is just interpretations. Like it's perfect.
But can you really say it's better than like the C
I can
tier?
I can sit here and say, Tricata, yes. No, Tricata's the martial art moves.
Well, I'm here at Star Wars lore. The move that involves turning a lightsaber off and back on during combat is called Tricata.
Okay. Yeah, because the hand-to-hand combat's Tarkata, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Look.
I can definitely without a doubt sit here and say that Visions season 1 is better than everything in C tier.
Would you
I'm
be
willing to
put it high C?
I'm willing to put this B, like low B, because Visions, every like unique artists.
By the way, I'm just gonna do this real quick because
Yeah, those are good. Yeah, Young Jedi's, Star Wars Blips, Force of Destiny, Galaxy Adventures, Rollout, Galaxy Creatures, Galactic Pals, whatever that Baby Yoda is, Fun Nubs. That's all going in not watched.
yeah.
Yeah, Taras Kasi or
Teras
something.
Kasi, yeah.
It's hand to hand.
But yeah, I will sit here and say Visions. Where did I put it at? Where is it on this list?
Low B.
No, I'm trying to find out where I put it on my list. I dragged it somewhere. Okay. Season 1 Visions is like mid B tier. Mid B tier.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know. I'm not putting it above episode 2.
Yeah, no. Oh no, dude. If when you listed all the problems with episode 2, I'm surprised you're not putting it up above there. But when I say mid B tier, I'm talking about like I'm not talking about where it's placed at on like the ranking list and on like be like what it's in front of. I'm saying it's like right there in the middle. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's right there. It's perfectly in the middle. It's its own little good thing. It's its own slice if you want to enjoy something that's not tied to
So
a
would you put it
major
above
thing.
episode 4 and 6?
Honestly, yes.
Okay. I still don't think it's better than episode 2. Honestly, you remind that Count Dooku fight really did kind of.
All right. Visions season 2.
I
I'll
haven't
put-
seen
I'll-
season 2, so I
I'm
can't.
gonna put low B. Low B. I'll put it in low B.
How low we
it's-
talking?
Like right there.
Okay.
Like it's good. The holiday special S tier. Just because George Lucas tried to get rid of it, it automatically goes S tier.
I'll put a low.
Galaxy of Adventures, I never watched it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Droid's A tier.
Is it? Yeah, I haven't
Oh,
even seen
dude,
these.
so's Ewoks. Like,
Okay,
oh my
I'll-
god, dude, it's so good. Caravan of Courage. Unfortunately, I have not watched. I didn't know that was on there. Ewoks: The Battle of Endor is in the not watched category. Oh,
All
and then
these
all
Lego
the-
stuff. All these
all
Lego
these
stuff,
Legos,
Go
S tier.
Here, I'll put it in front of the holiday special. Actually, in
Yep.
front of the micro.
All Legos. The holiday special is great. All of it S tier.
In no particular order, except this one right
No.
here in my hand. This one right here is the best one.
Yes, absolutely.
That one is the best Lego one they came up with.
All right. Well, this podcast kind of lasted really long on a tier list. So I already know what I'm
Nice,
calling
really
this
long.
one.
It's gonna be super.
How long have we been going on for?
2 hours and
2
3
hours?
minutes.
It felt
Oh
like
my
4 hours again.
I know it feels like 4 hours.
To be fair, we did have like 15 minutes of technical problems.
True.
And then we had a lot of discussions on a lot of these.
Yeah.
Well, I saw around a lot, and like, I haven't seen a lot of these.
Now, by the way, the free Maker Fighters, that goes in high A, but I'm not. That's not an S.
Yeah, that's a. For Makers was kind of funny.
It was kind of funny, but also kind of like.
So you know what? So's All Stars.
Where's All Stars?
But yeah, that's our ranking list for all of Star Wars.
Also, you did know that you could have pinned the images to make it easier earlier, right?
Scroll down.
So this is the.
Yeah, like where you see pinned images, that won't
Whenever
come
you
in your screen while you scroll up and down.
Yeah.
I tried to say something in the chat, but
I don't read chat, man. You kidding me?
Alrighty.
But okay, so you want to end it off with talking about some movies that's happening?
Yes. So in the rumor world, we will be getting a whole new Star Wars trilogy led by J.J. Abrams and George Lucas. He is vying for control. The Minecraft movie, you will be getting a really good in-depth review from me.
And
Because
and most likely me too.
I think it's just going to be funny.
And against my better judgment, I am going to be sacrificing myself to watch the Snow White movie. Mainly because I know
Bless.
it's going to be a high value target to talk about, whether to rat on or to say it's good. Honestly, I'm not believe that it's going to be absolute trash. And honestly, the only reason I'm even willing to go besides this podcast is Gal Gadot.
God, what's it called?
Also-
Comes out soon.
Also, we got some news. There was a huge leak of Marvel's Doomsday concept art, and I will be putting the images in the chat.
Oh yeah, I already saw
You already
them.
saw those?
I was
Okay,
I was on Reddit and I saw that.
So
and
because
Oh
Marvel
my-
is Marvel
Oh
is
my-
straight up sniping all channels that do it, we can't show it. So unfortunately, you're just gonna have to use your imaginations if you haven't already.
I'd be
saw it.
worried about
Just-
putting it in here.
just go to
We're
Reddit.
Yeah, we're go to
Go to
Reddit.
Reddit,
Go
go
to look up online. There's plenty of
Go
websites.
go to Reddit r/leaks and news, and you will find the image
Yeah.
there.
But
No. So currently, all of the heads of Marvel are like furious that these concept art stuff got leaked. My thing is,
it looks amazing.
I don't know. I don't
First
care how
off-
it looks.
first
I
off,
just
the
I need the
T'Challa-
story.
The T'Challa looks amazing, right? The new T'Challa
But here's
thing.
here's the question: who's playing him?
There was, I forgot who, but there was a rumor on a recast.
I know there's a rumor on a recast. But they haven't really confirmed
There
who
was
had
one
it because
actor who I heard was in the lead to like replace.
yeah, I heard that too. But again, he hasn't been confirmed,
No.
so I don't know who's gonna play him. And honestly, it's a bit hard to watch anyone else play
Yeah.
that role considering how good he did. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, gone but not forgotten, taken
Now,
too soon.
What's really cool is we saw concept art of the Young Avengers, right? And they look to be led by Wong and Star-Lord, which I think that'd be really cool to see.
My thing is, like, the concept art looks cool, and I don't care for it because again, that's concept art. We're probably not gonna get exactly that
No.
because it's just like you build a conception on what it could look like, and what really matters is how much of a budget are they giving this, because they've had some success with low budget Marvel movies, and then they've had some failures with it.
Well,
But
speaking of,
I need to know how big the budget is because currently Captain America: Brave New World hasn't even broken even yet in the
no,
United
yes, it
States.
has. Yes, it has.
Dog, I've been keeping up, and it needed to break 400, and then globally it needed to break 600. And the last
No, it
time
has to. Its budget was 180.
no, it's budget okay, but again, it's
So,
rumored
okay,
that the budget was
rumor-
higher than
No,
what
that
they're
was
telling
rumor,
us.
and that those had already been. Those had
Dog,
already
I
been.
don't know because they sat here and said, "Oh, we didn't do anything but the normal amount of reshoots." Yet half the stuff that was reshot was way past what it was, and the budget kept going up.
Dude,
There, like,
the final
like that
budget
is
was
confirmed.
The final budget was confirmed at 180 million.
Yeah, but again, it needed to break over 400 million to break even.
It's already okay. It's already like at It's already like at I believe 300 million worldwide. I think last I checked. That was like a week ago. I think. Like it's already like almost doubled. Like what they said the budget. They confirmed the budget
Okay,
was.
11 hours ago, it has currently made 341.8 mil.
Okay.
It has not broken that budget. And if anything, its second week run has been the worst. It saw a 68% drop off from its first week, and its opening day, it's how much it made was abysmal. It made 88 million in its opening day.
Okay.
You compare that to any of the other Marvel movies that did slightly better, Ant-Man Quantumanium beat it out on first day sales,
Look,
and within 24 hours.
I can't say like with other movie theaters, but for one, I work at a movie theater, and I'll tell you this: there is probably one other movie, and it's the only reason that this movie is beating it out is because a lot of like grandparents are going to see it. The only movie that I currently see
Paddington.
more people. No, not even Paddington. I see more people come for Captain America than Paddington. No, I see more people come for The Unbreakable Boy with Zachary Levi.
Unbreakable Boy.
Yeah, it's about the kid.
Wait,
with
is that the
autism.
one about the kid? Yes, I was about to
Yeah.
say, yeah.
So I've seen more people come for that movie than Captain America, but Captain America I've seen more come for every other movie. And I'm usually the one who like works the podiums. I'm usually the one who like directs them to which theater they gotta go to. Captain America is still very popular, at least near where I am, which I won't say because it's the only one of the only theaters in the city I live in. So.
All right, so this weekend, Captain America: Brave New World bought at $18 million. Its estimated international total stands at 178.1 million, and its global is 341.8 million. It has not met any of its goals that it's supposed to.
Oof.
Yeah, it saw a massive drop off after the first week. It made 15 million 11 hours ago, which is a minus 47%. It leads the second lowest weekend year to date, with Last Breath gasping at 7.8 million. I don't know what that is.
It's another movie that's coming out.
Yeah, it's an underwater movie that I could care less
Yeah.
for. Also, for all you Star Wars fans, Episode 3 is returning to theaters April 25th.
Let's go!
Yep.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing that day.
Shout out to that random Chinese movie that I never saw a trailer for, bringing in $1.9 billion.
Yeah, shout out to
Whoa.
them.
And in the span of like 2 weeks. In its first week, it had over like $900 something million.
Wait, what movie?
Zenha 2.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. It's a sequel to some Chinese movie with something about the Monkey King, I believe, which does very well. Anything with the Monkey King does very well in China, and like this movie is blowing the brakes out of everything. Oh,
Wow.
it's insane. Also, another thing about Captain America: Brave New World is it lost internationally in some countries to national movies, like home movies.
Honestly,
In
I'm not
France, it
surprised.
lost. In
I
France,
think-
it lost to a French movie. In the UK, it lost to Paddington.
Here's
so
the thing. Here's the thing, and I feel like I feel like there is a general consensus to kind of hate on Marvel, and I don't think the hate is fair. Now,
I
do I
think
say
the hate is warranted, but not fair.
I feel like they are giving good movies, especially when you compare it to a lot of the slop that 80% of Hollywood produces. Right? Now, are those movies perfect? Are those movies great? No. Right? But at the very least, they're giving us movies with good action or good stories or both, or like they're good, fun movies. Which honestly, these are superhero movies, right?
And
they're
on
supposed
and
to be good.
and
Fun.
DC is about to do the exact same thing Marvel did, and they're about to hit ruin.
DC can't. So I know exactly what you're talking about. DC can't do that.
They want to do 7 animated series, 3 live action movies, a bunch of other like animated, 4 animated DC movies, another Justice League animated movie. They want to produce at least 4 games a year. They're about to hit what Marvel did and oversaturate, and that's going to be the problem.
They're going to kill their company.
They're going to kill themselves.
They're already killing themselves. Let's be. They
not really.
No, they canceled,
in the animation.
The Wonder Woman game. They
that's not DC. That's Warner Brothers. That's different.
It's still.
That's W Games. DC has nothing to do with that. That's Warner Brothers. No. DC is killing it in the animated series. Creature Commandos. Yeah. Oh my God! Give me season 3. Give me 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me as many seasons as you want. James Gunn, I love you. I'm so mad that Disney treated you the wrong way. You deserved better, and you were showing
you realize
them.
He's the one who's like running this, right?
Yes, I know. That's what I'm saying. He's doing great, but at the same time, he's about to unfortunately make the same folly that Marvel did by oversaturating the market with Marvel movies and then TV shows and at least 3 games and all that stuff. To where people got sick and tired of them.
What they need to do, is they, unlike with Marvel, and Marvel kind of realized this, they need to make their like shows or like some of these other projects, because James Gunn has already said that he wants the shows, the cartoons, the movies, the games to all be connected, right? Which I have no problem with, because I always love like these tiny Easter eggs that connect different mediums and stuff. My whole thing though is that I know that every fan's not like that, right? So if they're going to do that and they have to do kind of what Marvel's doing now, they can't make it a required read. Like, for example, right? One of the reasons why I've seen that people are like, people have said Captain America Brave New World is that they kind of make it, like, they kind of reiterate stuff that you should already know from if you watch.
Marvel's problem is they made watching Marvel a chore, because instead of having all the movies be self-contained and then having the TV shows kind of be like, oh, we're kind of in the same timeline, they make it to where you have to go watch the show, and if the show doesn't do that well and isn't well received, then they spend like the first 30 minutes of the movie trying to like quickly recap the TV show, which if no one watched the TV show, no one's going to care about your recap for this character. Just keep your TV shows and your movies separated. But like you can have them be like everything happening all at once. Yeah, that's fine. But if the only reason why I understood Brave New World was and everything that's going on in it is because I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But if you didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're not going to understand half the crap that's going on with Isaiah.
No, you don't. Okay. You don't even.
It is a chore to watch these TV shows.
Okay.
It is a chore. You have to. Okay, if you did not watch the TV show and Isaiah Bradley just pops up and they go, yeah, we spent 2 years, trying to get you exonerated and all this stuff, you're going to sit here and go, who's Isaiah? What's his backstory? Why is he being exonerated? He's the first Black Captain America movie. Okay, that's it. But you have to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier to understand who Isaiah. Yes, you do.
Let me explain.
Yes, you did.
Let me talk. You don't.
No.
I'm gonna say that.
You don't listen. What it should always be is if you watch the movie, right, and it tells you don't, for the movie itself, you do not need to know really who Isaiah Bradley is. You do not need to know the backstory. All you need to know.
So you're telling me the emotional connection he has is not important with Isaiah?
Can I talk? Jesus Christ.
No.
You do not need like you can already tell there's a connection, right? As far as you're concerned, like, and they kind of go briefly into it that, like, yeah, this person is from history, right? Obviously, he's in your mind, and you're kind of what we're going. He's kind of training Sam, right? He's training Sam. That's the kind of like, and he's like a mentor to Sam, kind of, or an aspiration to be, right? That's all you really need for the movie. He is someone Sam cares about. If you want more information, then you go and be like, huh, you know what? I want more information. Where should I go to, like, do that? One, you could go online and read the comic, or or after that, go watch Falcon and Winter Soldier to be like,
Man, that's
oh,
so crazy that
makes
they would just
sense.
introduce a character and go, oh yeah, by the way, he has this connection, but all we know is that he trained Sam. That's about it. That's the only connection we're going to give you is that he trained him, which is why he's fighting so hard and telling Isaiah, don't do this. You're going to make everything that we work so hard for worse. When it's just a passing line about all this stuff that they just did for him by getting him exonerated and fully recognized and all that. Oh yeah, no, you don't have to worry about that. We're just going to introduce a character, quickly just say, by the way, this is the Black Captain America, and then they did something, but we're not going to really give you anything about him. If you really want to know who Isaiah is, you have to go watch the TV show. It literally sets up that point that you have to watch the show. Because if you come in and you just go, man, who's Isaiah? Why is he fighting so hard? Why is Sam really struggling? Because Isaiah is the one that made him fight that struggle, and Isaiah was the one that made him accept the role of Captain America. Nobody else. Bucky didn't do it. Torres didn't do it. No one else made him realize that what it means to be Captain America more than what Isaiah stood for and what he wanted to represent for Isaiah. Isaiah is a key point in that movie, which is why.
Let me ask you this: if they didn't come out,
that Isaiah needs a TV show.
If they didn't come out with Captain America or Falcon and Winter Soldier until after this movie came out, right? Nothing changes, right? You're introduced to Isaiah Bradley as like a mentor, right? Simple as that. Right? As someone who's
but
training,
at the same time,
you get the bit
but at the same time, you would have to sit there and you'd have to. You're going to sit here and tell me that the entire writing for for Falcon and the Winter Soldier can easily be thrown right after Brave New World, when there's literally Brave New World setting everything up for these next Avengers movies. Not a TV show, by the way. It's setting up for a literal fucking movie.
All I'm saying is that
Marvel is a chore to watch, and you have to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier to understand why Sam has this conflict in him.
no,
why
you
he's
don't.
so
You
yes,
don't.
you do. So you're telling me that you can sit here and comfortably watch the end of Endgame and go straight into Captain America: Brave New World with no information in the middle, and then hope that, again, for you to get a TV show or a movie, the thing has to do very well. It has to be well recepted, which this movie is not. It's not well recepted because it has not broken even at all. It saw the worst drop off this year to date by any Marvel movie. It performed
it's
worse
the
than
only
Quantumanium.
Marvel movie that whatever.
It performed worse than Quantumanium on opening day. This is statistically a fact. And if Captain America,
okay,
if
let's be
Falcon and the Winter
honest.
Soldier did not exist, we would not get it as after the Brave New World. Because this movie did terribly. This movie is a B tier movie that just is performing more like a C tier. Like this movie, if Falcon and the Winter Soldier did not exist first, we would not get Falcon and the Winter Soldier after Brave New World, because of the reception to the movie. We would not get it.
It's just okay. You're just gonna. Here's
I'm telling you, it is a chore to watch Marvel movies now.
It was, but they're changing it up. Now
Exactly. That's the thing. They're changing it. Before it was a chore. Now it's not so much of a chore, but it's still lingering there. They haven't fully changed everything.
No, okay,
They're still in transition.
Yeah, listen, all I'm saying is that with Captain America: Brave New World, you can watch it, right? And I think the good part about it is like, hey, if you want to know more, like with comics do all the time. With comics, they have like, hey, they bring stuff up in comics from other issues and stuff, and then they leave an appendum that's like, hey, if you want to know more about this, what happened in this scenario, what happened in this situation, what happened to this character, right? Check out this issue of this comic, right? That's what they do. So that in that movie, what they did is they put it, and they do it very well, for it to kind of be its own thing, but still leaving enough that, like, hey, you want to know more about Isaiah Bradley? You want to know more about Torres? You want to know more about this, that, or this? Go watch this show. It's
But
not
you
required
can't say
to watch it.
It is. Granted, we can't say anything about Torres because Torres only shows up in like one episode, anyways.
He shows up
In
a
Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Shows
there's a
up in
couple,
a
but he doesn't really do much. He's only in like one or two. Like I
that
just
same
rewatched
logic,
the
you
entire
can't say
series.
the same thing about Isaiah Bradley. He shows
Isaiah
up.
Bradley Isaiah's in at least 3 episodes and is mentioned in like 4.
He's shown up like twice.
Isaiah has shown up twice, but he's mentioned and carried out throughout the rest of the show. So Isaiah has an impact on Sam.
He's not even
If
introduced.
you're,
to
so
like
you're
halfway
seriously,
in the
but
series.
you're seriously telling me that you can sit there and watch Brave New World, and you have no recollection, no clue about whoever this is, and then you're praying like Falcon and Winter Soldier doesn't exist, and you're praying that we get a TV show, and you're praying that it's done right, and you're praying that hopefully they're going to explain something.
It's
They're
not
not.
like oh look, this is a kind of a cool character. I would love to know more about him. Oh wait, there's already
Yeah.
a show that goes more about him. Great, I'll go back and watch that.
Yeah,
That's what
but everything else in there that sets up like why Sam feels a certain way is in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Why he carries himself in a different manner in the Brave New World from the TV show. You have to watch the TV show to see why Sam has this distress about why he's Captain America. Because he's literally sitting there saying he's not worthy, that he doesn't know what it means, that he literally sits there and like has self-doubt. Whereas if you go and you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, you see where that doubt starts. You see where everything starts for Sam. Because you cannot sit there and create a movie all about him and not have an origin for him in a TV show. But the problem is that half of these Marvel TV shows you have to go watch to figure out anything. Like if you want to figure out why Wanda's doing what she's doing in the Multiverse of Madness, you have to go watch WandaVision. You
Yes.
cannot sit there and just watch
Okay,
Multiverse
that's
of Madness and
Multiverse
go,
of
I
Madness.
completely
That
understand.
is
No,
Multiverse
it doesn't.
of
It doesn't
Madness.
matter what the movie is.
That's
Again, you
again,
have to go watch the TV show.
That is I agree with you on that. Okay. I agree with you that you have to watch WandaVision to fully understand Multiverse of Madness. I am not denying that. I am not talking about that. I'm talking about Captain America: Brave New World and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Do I think
And
that
you
is-
have to watch You have to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier before you watch Brave New World. You can go in and just watch it without watching the TV show, yeah. But at the same time, it's gonna say, "Hey, by the way, this show exists." But the whole time, you're gonna sit there and go, "Man, I kind of wish I watched this because it makes all these callbacks to the show the entire time.
just
It's
'cause
having
it makes
callbacks."
callbacks doesn't mean that the callbacks are anything more than just like small acknowledgments. And anytime they do make a callback, it's always followed by, "Hey, this," like they always give it a very quick, slight explanation that doesn't really draw away from the movie.
Yeah, but again, it's calling back to something that it's hoping people watched. If you have not watched it, you don't know what's going on.
You know, you realize
That's like
been
reading.
been
That's
the
like
way-
reading.
That has
that's
been
like
the
reading
way
part
of
one of-
Marvel
that
since
is-
day effing one.
Exactly, because it's a chore. If you want to know about Iron Man, they made an entire Marvel comic series following the Iron Man Phase 1. They made a whole thing. I didn't care to go read it because I like the movies better. I hate the comic books. The comic books are kind of trash sometimes because it's different. And I don't feel like waiting so long. But again, you have to, it's almost a requirement that you have to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier before you go watch Brave New World, because there's so much that happens in Brave New World that has all these callbacks into the TV show, and you can't sit here and complain about it because Endgame did the exact same thing with Infinity War. It had all these callbacks, and you cannot sit here and complain about that.
I'm
All
not
Marvel
complaining.
shows make
I'm the
callbacks.
one who likes
between-
callback. You're the one who's complaining about callbacks.
I'm complaining of the fact that it's a chore that you have to watch TV shows to watch
So
a
you
movie.
have to watch one show that's like that. First off, was kind of designed to be a movie and then broken up within 6 episodes.
Which I'm still mad that they made it a TV show. It really should have been a movie.
Agreed. But that we're not talking about that. But it's literally a 6-episode thing, and you're telling me that that's a chore to watch one show. It's not even that, like, unlike
Not even just that, they have an entire comic book series that's running alongside all of this. So you also have to go. So if you want to know more, you have to go read a comic book.
you don't
Just
need.
leave
That
everything
is for
by
the
itself.
That is for the benefit of, like.
And
the-
I don't care because I don't have the money to sit there and go pay for $20 comic books.
Okay, then that's not for you. Man.
Exactly. And I'm saying that most people that are like me that just enjoy a Marvel movie don't want to sit here and go
That
into a
is
movie
for
going, what the hell's
that is for
going
the
on?
fans that actually love this shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
It's
that's
for
obviously
both.
not
It's for,
you.
it's,
We've
it's
gone
for
over this
both.
thing with Star Wars, right? If Star Wars was gonna release a side series that connected it, right? They're making a Mandalorian movie, right? You would have to watch the Mandalorian show to actually probably get the Mandalorian movie. You're telling me that's bad?
No.
So if you're saying that's not bad. and
My
you're-
thing is because Star Wars is best. All Star Wars TV shows are way better written than anything Marvel can produce in a TV show. Star Wars Star Wars is way better than
Fuck
anything
that.
Marvel has ever
Fuck
made.
that.
Star Wars is way better than
Fuck
Marvel, in my
that.
opinion.
Whoa.
I am a Marvel fan, by the way.
Whoa.
I just don't have time to read comic books. I go watch
You don't
comic
even
book
need-
Wayne. I go watch him, and even then, I sit there and go, that's pretty cool and all. But again, for the people, because it's not just fans watching the movie, it's just your average Schmo Joe. Your average Schmo Joe doesn't want to sit there and go, I got to know this, so I got to go watch a TV show to
You
find out
don't.
about a movie. And then there's also this comic book series that's going on alongside
just
of it.
said that
as well,
the
because
average
it's a
Schmo
TV show,
Joe would not
and it
wanna
goes with
do-
the movie that I need
You
to
just
watch as
said
well.
that
I'm
average
not doing
Schmo
that.
Joe wouldn't want to do that, but yet you're saying that it's okay that Star Wars is going to do the exact same thing.
Because Star Wars isn't running a comic book series next to its TV shows.
You don't need to read the comic books has never been a required thing. You want to know something?
Brother, I have been in a conversation with you, Jay, and whatever the other one's name is, and you guys literally fought and mentioned TV shows and comic books when all I said was I did not appreciate how Quicksilver died.
That has
Y'all got
okay,
into a long y'all got into a
that is
long
very
debate, dragging in
different.
everything.
That
It is
very
not
different.
different.
It is very
It is
different.
not different.
That is extremely different, especially because okay.
Because y'all were pulling out movies and from the X-Men series and then all these comic book things, and all I said was I didn't like how he died. I felt like it could have been better. It could have been more impactful.
Look, you have to understand, we are like diehard Marvel enjoyers, whether it's comics.
I
and
know,
stuff. So
which,
that
again-
allows us to go deeper into our understanding than you can, who is a casual enjoyer. That's for us to enjoy. Obviously,
I know,
it's not
but
for
my
you.
problem was, and I hate this with every Marvel fan, is if I mention one thing that I like or don't like, I'm given this full spiel that I just didn't ask for. All I said was Quicksilver died in the worst way possible. It felt disrespectful because I felt like the emotional impact did not hit Wanda right. Because he dies getting shot. A guy who's fast doesn't make sense. All
Which
I
we
said
all
was
agreed on, by the way.
yeah, and then y'all went on this tirade. One of y'all called me stupid for saying that because
No,
it's his power was new or whatever, which didn't make sense. He had him since he was a kid.
He didn't
Like,
have
come
it
on.
since he was a kid. He had it since he was.
We looked up and read this, and he had it for a long time. He did not have it for like a short month.
In the MCU, he got it pretty recently because he's not much older. Because we see him first getting his powers and first experiencing.
This is
his
what I'm
powers.
talking about.
Whatever. We're not. That's not. Look, we're 2 hours and 32 minutes into this.
All right,
I think
we will
gotta end it here.
next episode will be the Marvel movie tier list ranking, and we will be having more fights.
That will be
Gremlin,
the
any
end of
last
the
words?
podcast, probably. That will be the end of the podcast.
All right, guys, it was good seeing you. We had a good 3-episode run. Me and the Gremlin are gonna take over, and we're gonna do our own stuff with this. So,
Oh, fuck you!
Yep.
You gonna replace me with the gremlin?
I mean, we can talk about sports a lot, so
yeah, we'll turn this into the thing nerds hate sports.
yeah.
Alrighty, y'all have been great. Y'all just listen to mom and dad argue for 10 minutes while the child sat in the corner crying his eyes out. I have been your
Obviously
pilot
the dad.
and host, Ghost. This has been my co-host, Galaxy, and this has been the gremlin we're putting
research
back in the
guy.
dungeon with an extra bowl of water.
For good
We'll
work.
catch all of you guys out. See y'all later, and make sure you show up for mandatory inspections in 2 weeks.
Gremlin, do you have any more you want to say?
Bye-bye.
Bye, suckers.
Thank y'all for watching.